Yo, what up? What up? What up? What's going on with y'all, man? Give y'all a couple little minutes to get up in here.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending
Shut up.
machines and buying a
Shut up. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Make sure y'all come through, like, share the video, please, as you come into the room. Please and thank you. As you see, we have our esteemed guest, Spiritual Logic, in the building, man. He'll be running the show for us today. He is the pilot. I'll be his co-pilot, man. He's the driver. I'm a passenger. We're gonna let him run it and do his thing as he so wonderfully does on the topic of the Bible. Okay.
What's up? What's up?
Shout out to Sir Abadeu. Shout out to Astro. Early Birds that was in the building. Raw Theory. Marco Leonards. Yeah, man. I'm really thinking about getting into the powerlifting shit, bro. But that powerlifting shit, bro, you gotta eat a lot of food, bro.
Yeah, I saw you do your thing out there, man.
Yeah, man.
Working out.
Little quick circuit, man. Like I said, bro.
I'm with it, man. I know about that powerlifting and especially working out outside. You know, I think men need to do that more often. Get out in nature and get that sunlight. Just makes you feel good, feel better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Young Swift. Hey, man, ain't gonna be no hurt feelings. Motherfuckers just gonna be mad. They gonna be, no, nigga, that ain't real, nigga. That ain't real.
They gonna find out it's real. He's gonna, hey, death is real. Hey, y'all better start thinking about it.
That's one guarantee in life, nigga. That's why, hey, that's definitely a guarantee in life, bro. But greatly appreciate you guys hopping in here early today, man. Wednesdays is usually my early day. We gonna be back to the normal schedule because my son has like a off day today or like a on pace day today. So he's usually be able to be done and over with school before the normal time or whatever. So that's why we in it during the daytime on Wednesdays, man. Really appreciate you guys for pulling up on me, man. Wow. 5'8", 271. God damn, bro. Hey, you lifting some trucks. If you 271 at 5'8". No Country for Old Simps. Shout out, brother. Trunk Toys, you got it, man. Exactly, Young Swift. Hey, man. All you can do is like I said, I like I tell these niggas in this space all the time, man. Hey, I'm gonna say a prayer for you, God hating ass niggas. It's only one sure way to find out if you really about this shit you say you about. Right before you leave here, you see it coming. Your last words is "oh shit," not "oh my God," but "oh shit." I believe it. It ain't not late anyway. You get your SKC in the building, 3'2", 390 pounds. Nigga, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is, bro. 3'2", 390, man. I don't even know. I don't think that's possible. That's a human tuna can, nigga. Shout out to SKC in the building, man. Shout out to a man, Sir Tight, bro. Been waiting on this show. Recommend some books. Also, salute Hulk and fan. Thank you, brother, for the
salute, man. Salute.
Shout out to Aaron B in the building. Aegon in the building. Hey, man. So like I said, we gonna go ahead and get into it, bro. This one gonna be slow. This gonna be a slow build. Ain't gonna be a whole lot of folks to jump up in here because of what the title says itself.
It's gonna bring them out, man. It's gonna bring them out.
Y'all are being here hating eventually, but we gonna go ahead and throw it to him, man. Spiritual Logic, aka Hulk, man. If you guys are not subscribed to him, man, make sure you subscribe to the brother, man. His insight on biblical aspect of it, brother, is like bar none. Best of the best in this sector, I do believe. If there's any type of Bible related questions, I'll definitely name him as one of, if not the subject matter expert on the Bible and in this space. So by all means, like I say today, man, this is pretty much his show. I greatly appreciate the brother. He's extremely humble. He's extremely knowledgeable. He's extremely wise, man. And he's one of the coolest brothers you'll meet in this space, man. So again, if you guys are not subscribed to him, make sure y'all subscribe to him. Mods, please make sure we spam his link in the chat, man. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll pin it to the top. So we make sure everybody's able to find the brother's channel and sub to him if you're not already. But without further ado, here we go. My man, Spiritual Logic, man. Go for it, brother.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Trying to somebody outside making all this noise, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna work with it. So when it comes to the Bible, I understand a lot of people have misinterpretations of things because you hear from the perspective of your mother, your grandmother, or some preacher, or it's always secondhand. Many people have not read it thoroughly. You don't read a few pages of a book and say that you know what the book is about. You don't really take anything serious that you don't investigate yourself. And it's interesting because a lot of people take a lot of other doctrines and information dispensed written by men, and they take it as fact. And they take it as fact because certain things number one, you can apply through your own experience that actually has a correlation to what you experience in your real life. The Bible is one of those books. The Bible at its core is a book, a law book that reflects the intrinsic laws that we all agree with. All of us. And nobody does not agree with the biblical law. Because if you ever complained in your life, if you ever put an expectation on how you expect to be treated, if you ever thought that some atrocity in history was bad, you're using a biblical worldview. Because from an atheist, secular worldview, competition and procreation are just the highest order. So slavery, murder, theft, rape, all those things are not wrong in a secular worldview. Because if survival is the highest thing, then there's no morality in that. But no one actually lives like that. No one is comfortable in a world like that, especially with the way people complain about slavery. For all the slavery sympathizers, that only makes sense if there's a justice coming from above. It doesn't make sense for you to even complain about the violent, competitive, conquering world that we exist in unless you believe in God biblically. Otherwise, you just get what you get. Too bad.
And Hope, can we pause right there, brother? Because in this honestly, this is what got me off track, right? With my believing in the Bible and understanding of it, is when you had the people come through, the Hoteps and back to Africa, and the Egyptologists who came through and told you, you know what I mean? The white man used that book. The white man made that book to enslave you. It was slavery. They used it in slavery. Can you explain to the people as to how with any book, right? If and when you don't understand what you're reading, or you really don't have privy to the entire text, because a lot of people take that out of context with the Bible, and they say how, hey man, they use the Bible to enslave you. But one of the things that I give credit to the brother that did the Birth of a Nation, the Nat Turner movie, was that they never ever put it in context and told us that that Bible had literally purposely had certain parts of the Bible taken out of it, and that was given to the black preachers that they appointed to teach the slaves. Can you explain the importance of that, brother? And you know what I'm saying, if and when pretty much anything that's man controls, man can manipulate, and at the same time then weaponize something that was meant to be a blessing or a gift to the people.
Right. Okay. Well, and a lot of people, I done heard every discussion, every argument, every rebuttal from the Bible was reverse engineered off of older texts to it was manipulated by Europeans and Council of Nicaea and Emperor Constantine and so forth. And I've talked to the most ingenious intellectual atheists probably in the world. So it's nothing I haven't heard, and I'm just saying that for real because I've sought out these people. And when it comes to these things about the Bible, you got to understand that the Bible, if you actually read it, it's not really a book. Like, first of all, slaves, we all know through context that slaves are pretty much illiterate. So what they were being told, and not necessarily what all of the slaves read, they were just told using the authority position that the Bible held, not necessarily them confirming anything that they read themselves. Because what is the value of them being illiterate if they can clearly see that the way they're being treated isn't supported biblically? And again, for those who believe that somehow this book supports slavery, there, I believe it's Exodus 20. It actually says that people who are selling slaves or doing the things that we consider chattel slavery should be put to death. And it's pretty clear about that. So people get this concept of, when servants and when they have masters, and we don't realize that, we live in a very euphemistic world. Your boss is your master. I know people don't like the term. People don't like to call themselves a servant, but when you work for somebody, that's what you are. Sorry if you don't like the way the world works. Work for yourself. Even if you work for yourself, you work for the government, because the government needs their cut, or they'll shut you down. That business that you have is on their land. You don't like the way the world's set up, then you better be looking to go to heaven, because that's the only way you're gonna get away from it. So a lot of people are just kind of upset with the way the world is constructed, because even the atheists can agree that if there is no God in your worldview, then all the evil is attributed to man. And if man is the cause of all evil, then of course you expecting man to be moral and tell you the truth about what his intentions are. Of course he's going to set agendas. This whole world has been the infrastructure of this world is built on lies, deceptions, misinformation, and agendas, because it's all about money. And anything, even in business, it's about trying to get the most profit, by putting in the least effort to an extent, because people are trying to get over. They're trying to, that's why people end up watering down their product, because they're trying to be able to produce more, charge a lot, but the manufacturing cost they want to lower, because they want to be able to have to get the most profit from it. So even in the world is set up for a way that deception, that you can't expect honesty. And the Bible really exposes everybody. Like, that's what I don't understand about people having a problem with the Bible. It exposes everybody. The standard is that without the Bible, that everything's opinion and preference. That doesn't work. You can't go to somebody who just punched you in the face and you say, man, you did something wrong. And then you say, well, I don't believe in God, so there's no wrong. There's no evil. There's no morality. But that doesn't work when somebody does something that is objectively wrong to you, because it hurts. And it's funny because people, when it comes to the Bible, they do the same thing with death. Everybody thinks because they're healthy right now, because they seem to be in a good position in their life, it's convenient not to believe accountability in the life that you live, when we see that there is a moral standard that has consequences to everybody in society. Part of the topic today is the so-called Pope, which has no affiliation with the Bible. Let's make that clear. None. Matter of fact, to be completely honest with you, the whole entire church building system is unbiblical. Even Old Testament, when they had the tabernacle and the oracles of God and all that, there was always a remnant that followed the true God. The rest did so in idolatry. For those who remember the story of Moses, what did the children of Israel do? They built a golden calf, which was an idol of the things that they valued, and they worshiped that as Yahweh. There's nothing that changed. The churches have created a church in the image of the things that they value, not the things that are representative of the true God, but it's a representation, a pre-packaging of the world. That's why the church is basically run like a corporation. That's why the preacher is like a CEO. That's why there's more administration in the church now. It's about business. And it's never been, and people can't even make that correlation, that the Bible does not support that. The Bible does not support same-sex marriage. And just because the churches are adopting it, that just proves that the church is not biblical. science and religion have both been weaponized by the government. And I say science and religion because a lot of people think that science is based on objective, proven truth supported by logical and viable evidence. But
And Hope, let's hold right there. I'm glad you and now Hope. Now you brought up the key word, brother, that I always love to hear the comparison of, because people always love to make the comparison of science to religion, and they say, well, science is things that can be proven. Actually, no, science is ever changing, because at one point in time before damn, it wasn't Galileo, was it Galileo, or was it Leonardo da Vinci, one of the two, whichever one of the two. I think it was Galileo. But once upon a time, the earth was thought to be the center of the universe.
Copernicus. Well, I know Galileo has something to do with it too, but it was like Copernicus and Galileo. Okay. Those two people.
So whichever one, right? So those were the smartest, the brains of that time. Those that we classified as scientists at that time. And people's understanding of the Earth's place in the universe was that the Earth was the center of everything. But you come to find out that hypothesis was wrong. And science is all about pretty much like educated guessing, right? That you can pretty much narrow down to certain things or whatnot, what have you, to prove those educated guesses. The thing about it, though, is that that's forever changing. All right. Yeah. Science that existed, let's say 10 years ago, doesn't exist today, just like science exists 100 years ago doesn't exist today. So how is it that people can believe in something and rely on it so heavily, something that's ever changing because you have a new understanding, but at the same thing, not put, because that's faith. That's basically what it is. You have faith, whatever a man has told you and a man has guessed is correct. And he makes the science to support it. That's another great thing too. People understand about science. It's great. As great of a line as Albert Einstein was, Albert Einstein came up with this theory. It's completely, totally man-made. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. He fucking based this out of his own mind's machinations and whatnot, created all this wonderful data, math, science, and all these things to support his theory. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then it's still to this day, we don't have the full and complete understanding of it because it's ever evolving. So if you can base an entire belief structure, because that's what science is, a belief structure, right? Off of something that's man-made, how can you not hold the same standard to the Bible when, again, science has been has proven and admitted to that there is such thing as a higher power? There's actually been science that even denotes that or gives credence to there has to be something greater, because the Big Bang has been unproven, disproven, or highly challenged several times when you look at science. Go ahead, brother, you got it.
Well, yeah, the Big Bang Theory is just plain illogical. It's more than unproven. It's illogical. There is nothing you can test in objective reality to support the theory of spontaneous creation. It's nothing that if you believe in the Big Bang, you just are a fool, because there's no experiment, there's no case study, there's not anything that you can use to reverse engineer that is even possible or that is even probable based on you being clearly a materialist. You can't test it. But people believe that. And just like on my YouTube page, I went through all the pecking man, the fossils that science claims are the missing links. They've all been disproven. They tell you who was the person that created it, when it was exposed to be a fraud, and all of that. But people don't want to research. They just think that because they didn't change it in your history books when you were taking grade school science, which education has become an indoctrination. It's not an education. They're indoctrinating you into knowledge that will support the world narrative. Because guess what? When they got you believing in evolution and the Big Bang Theory, they reduce the meaning and purpose that you can attribute to your life. That's why they can support abortion. That's why they can support all these things that devalue life. When they sit there and say, what is your meaning and purpose in life? You can say, well, it's greed, vanity, the evils that are actually destroying society, and they take away your identity that comes from your creator, that actually gives you the structure to actually not to live in this world in homeostasis with your environment and not being destroying one another. Because what happens when greed is unchecked and lust is without self-control? Well, we have the world we have now, total chaos. and it's not any logical evidence. It's just like science. The medical industry is a perfect example. Everybody knows the medical industry for a large number is just corrupt. It's about creating disease for profit. Cures are not profitable. So they have to create diseases by um, basically, if you notice, the FDA and the medical industry go hand in hand. So they actually allow a certain number of chemicals, preservative, and poisons in your food. Your water is poisoned with all kinds of stuff that's, endocrine disruptors, fluoride, chlorine, etc. They're spraying all kinds of heavy metal compounds in the atmosphere: aluminum, strontium, barium, all kinds of sulfate, uh, weather modification compounds, and all this stuff that's raining down. People have actually tested. I'm not talking about regular people. Actually, you can get a kit. You can test for the aluminum in the soil that actually settles from the atmosphere. That we're being poisoned, and everybody knows that aluminum is a neurological inhibitor. It messes with your nerves in your body. It does all these damaging things
Another
that the government.
real quick, brother, hold right there. Hulk, brother. Let me read this thing from Astro. Adam was the first trans on Earth. He had man and female in him. He was called he them. That's why God need the womb to make Eve. So the Bible is Paul's. I'm not sure if I'm understanding, but no. Again, brother, no. Listen, Adam was first. Adam was man. A woman was made from man. So he wasn't. He wasn't two of the which, two of the same. Okay, the woman is a part of the man. But again, what he did was he separated. He took a part of the man to make one man. Okay, and once you get down into it, even from a scientific standpoint, it's still one of the same. When we first start out from a scientific, when they say science, before you're pretty much not even determined before your XY, what is XX and XY chromosomes or whatever develop, right? So your sex isn't determined until a later part of the fucking gestational period or whatnot. Okay. So the whole part of it, no, we're not the same, but you need man to make woman. He pretty much took the bone, he took the rib from Adam, and he gave him the woman. So the man being trans, no, but I can understand what you're saying from a duality standpoint. And one, you had one to make the other, but trans, nah, bro, nah. But yeah, that's the Baphomet shit. But you know what, Astro, you bring up a great point, and that's a lot of the confusion that the opposite side of the Most High will use to tell you that everything's one and the same, that man and woman are the same, and that it's not apart from the whole or two separate entities, but they're the whole duality aspect of it, the way everything is the same. And that's just not the thing, man. Good is not evil, evil is not good. There are two sides, two clear things. But what the other side will want you to think is that there is no, you know what I'm saying? There is no separation between good and evil. And when God clearly tells you that, hey, he makes the good and the bad. And that's another big thing too, Hope, we'll get into right now too. How is it that people want to limit God to only the good things that happen? Hey, babies being born, people, being saved from accidents, and the flowers, the sunlight, all these other things. He clearly tells you in the Bible, hey, I made it all. You know what I'm saying? I make everything, not just the good parts of it, not, you know what I'm saying, not just the bad parts of it, but I control any and everything that happens in the world. Why is it difficult for people to understand when you say omnipresent and omniscient, all powerful, that they just can't fathom that?
Well, I heard a good analogy or a good metaphor of how God is transcendent of time versus us being mortal and in time. And it's all about perspective. If you realize, everybody know this as God, Jesus is the first and the last, the Alpha and Omega. We've all heard that before. So if you look at God the Father as eternal, knowing the beginning and the end, because he's eternal. Time is only a reflection of our mortality, based on the fact that this mortal life is wasting away as a result of us turning against our creator. So here's the thing: a baby crawling across the table doesn't see the edge and doesn't know what's going to happen. But from perspective of an adult looking at the baby, they can clearly see if that baby maintains that course, they're going to fall off the table. Now, the baby being having limited perspective, being a baby doesn't know that, but it has free will to move towards an end it doesn't know, while the parent looking on knows exactly what's going to happen. So we got to realize that free will and life are the same. You don't know that the only evidence that you have that you are alive is that you make a choice. You're not a puppet. No one has a sock up your back or a hand up your back or anything. You're not a puppet. You actually can make choices, but you got to understand that outside of eternity, what we do actually matters, even though in the grand scheme of things, everything's already been established. And people have a problem with that because it limits accountability. Number one, people don't want to be accountable because the whole issue is, why does God let bad things happen? And I clearly say, because he allowed you. If he wanted to end all evil in the world, then he had to get rid of all of us, because we all have the potential to disobey a perfect law. We do it every day. We know what is right. Does that stop people from lying? Does that stop people? People who still know it's wrong because they wouldn't want it done to them. Does it stop them from stealing? No. See, when you attribute the nature of pride and arrogance and jealousy and all of these things that come into play with the human condition, we live in a world where it's not about, oh, I didn't know. It's about, I don't care, because we get, basically, media in the world has indoctrinated us. That's why media plays such a point. If you notice with the brother who sent the super chat, he's taking a modern view of things and applying it to a old biblical view. They didn't have any words such as trans back then. So to even apply that term to a time when clearly it wasn't even talked about, this shows you what indoctrination does. You've been indoctrinated now to try to take something that you've been taught in this generation and apply it to a generation where those terminologies didn't exist. Clearly, man meant man and women went woman, and they were clearly designed by their roles in their biology. It was no debate.
Yeah, and that's another huge part too. Let me address this real quick. A couple of shots. Hey, and just so you guys know, man, I greatly appreciate all of your comments, no matter what it is, whether you guys agree or disagree. And I think this needs to happen more often, because what we're taught, especially in the Black community, is just sit down, shut up, and listen. Go to church, listen to what the preacher got to say, but God, right? But you don't ask no questions. You don't have no understanding. You don't get any of these things. You're not able to challenge. And the thing that makes you concrete and solid in your faith is it being challenged and you being able to know the scriptures strong enough, well enough, along with the history, because the Bible isn't just the scriptures, bro. Like you said, if you read the scriptures, bro, there's literally history that coincides with the things that the Bible talks about. And it's been proven by the same science that you guys are challenging, right? Or you guys are using to disprove the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So that in itself, when I see that about the Bible missing Alexander the Greek before he was even thought about and things like that, and certain areas and geographically, Sodom and Gomorrah has been found, you know what I'm saying, and things like that, and the destruction of it, and you know how it says, and when you burn shit to a certain level, I think is like phosphorus or magnesium, whatever it is, to support that what the Bible said.
Yeah. To this day, you cannot grow anything, and if you put a flame to the ground in the area of Sodom and Gomorrah, it would instantly go into flames. So the flame would just, the ground has been scorched with the heat that we can't even replicate today.
Thank you. And again, man, like I said, a lot of these things that we shout out to my man Solo TV 84 in the building, bro. Appreciate you. A lot of these things that, again, you guys will try to use science to disprove, but like Hope just said, when the scientists go and they excavate or they explore these areas, the science supports that exactly what the Bible said happened. And the Bible clearly predates all of the science that you have today. So when you say things like, and shout out to DOD for what he's saying, that, well, if you can't prove the Big Bang, you can't prove an omnipotent being. Of course you can't. Of course you can't, because it literally predates the understanding of existence. Man, I don't think you guys understand. Man could never comprehend or understand. God tells you this. It's in the Bible. Your ways are not your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. It's very simplistic but complex at the same time. A man cannot understand on the level of someone that has always been here. You can't. Your mind can't even fathom that. Again, I challenge you right now. Even in people say when they meditate, bro, even in meditation, you're concentrating on meditation. Your mind cannot not think. You understand that? Okay? If your mind cannot not think, how could you therefore comprehend anything outside of, you know what I mean, humanity and human understanding? You only know what you were taught. Okay? It's like the best scenario and the easiest scenario that I can use for trying to explain the thought process of the Most High to a human being is you trying to speak a language you don't know. Very simplistic, but at the same time, like I said, think about it, complex. If you went, I'll put you in China right now, and you can't speak Chinese, you'll never understand it. Even though you hear it, you can see everybody talking, you understand that it's language, but you have absolutely no idea of what they're saying because you just don't speak the language. And people just are not on the language of God himself, of the Most High. Point blank, period. You'll never be able to understand. And it tells you to the point of where even when he spoke to Moses, so Moses would know that he was who he was. He spoke through him through a bush. And as he spoke to him through the damn bush, he was so powerful that he changed his whole entire fucking, you know what I'm saying? Changed his whole countenance. Hulk, is on you, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to respond to DOD. See, here's the issue with that statement. We all know when we use the terminology of God biblically, that means creator. Now, why would the creator need to be created? That's a paradox. You're asking a term, who created God, as if someone that you call God needed to be created. So you're putting him in the position of you.
Yes.
And the Bible in Romans said that. It said they would change the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. This is a biblical term. The Bible knew that people were going to think like that. You were going to try to limit God to your mortal perspective. If I'm created, then he has to be created. He is God. He is the creator. You cannot relate your existence to his. And let me read something else. And it's a term, and this is something I had on my Instagram. And I want everybody to listen closely. Let me find it. Okay, it says God maintains a delicate balance between keeping his existence sufficiently evident so that people will know he's there, and yet hiding his presence enough so that the people who want to choose to ignore him can do that. This way, their choice of destiny is really free. And I just want people to understand it. I didn't cut off, right?
No, you good. You good. Shout out to Blaze for the 499. Thank you, brother.
And look, we got to be careful trying to act like you can understand God. God has revealed us to move within the creation he created to the purpose that he designed. We're not supposed to understand him. We're supposed to understand the purpose that we were created to function in. Nobody can create matter out of nothing. So to act like, if you can't do that, then why are you trying to relate to only things that God can do? Relate to the things that you can do. Like, try to live in balance with your environment, how to live without destroying yourself. The Bible gives us a framework to do these things. You know, the easiest way you can see if the Bible is true, apply it to your life when the atheistic standpoint lets you down, and see if your life improves. See if God's law actually protects you from a lot of things that the world doesn't. See if you actually come to an understanding of the evils that exist in you and the evils of the world, so that you won't be exploited, manipulated by them. See, right now, people, we can even use relationships. People go into relationships because they're not aware of the evils and ignorance that exist in them that make them blind to people who are trying to manipulate you. A lot of guys are complaining about women, but it's the weakness and the evil within you that make you an easy target for women to manipulate. The Bible exposes your lust. It exposes your flesh. These are the things that women will use to seduce men into their own destruction. Why not expose your evil so you can see the evils in other people? Otherwise, the blind leading the blind, what does the Bible say? They both will fall into the ditch. Evil is always seeking evil. When you find yourself with a gold digger or Jezebel and you want that, that means you're in a foolish mindset. You have to step outside of that foolish mindset to not be susceptible to be seduced by the Jezebel. Evil seeks evil, and we got to understand this. The Bible is a reflection of the moral law that exists in all of our hearts and minds. Your conscience is a reflection that God's law is true. Atheists don't have any moral law for you to uphold that you can agree with. Remember, the animals hold law when they eat each other? Do they have a court of law when they eat each other? No, there's no justice system in the animal kingdom. If an animal kills another animal, it's just what it is. But why does it hurt you if somebody comes and kills you? Because you know that your life has a higher value. You were created for a purpose higher than an animal. That's why we're not okay with murder or eating each other, because we're not created in an animalistic purpose. Everything has a purpose. And the Bible actually proves that the purpose that we were designed for is true. All this alternative lifestyle, all of this same-sex stuff, that's coming from a secular worldview. That's not biblical. You can't blame religion on that, because the Bible doesn't support that. That's coming from this subjective relativism that comes from atheism, where anything is anything, because there is no truth. Everything is opinion. So the very things that we are destroying men, that destroy society, is coming from atheism. It's not coming from religion. You find any scripture in the Bible that supports same-sex anything. You support any verse in the Bible that gives a woman the right to usurp authority over a man. You won't find it. And for every man who says that the Bible is doing this, you're wrong. And you can't prove it. I want chapter and verse. I don't want to hear you say nothing but chapter and verse. Tell me where it says it. I don't want to care. I don't care what your preacher and your grandma said. Give me chapter and verse. And no one can ever do that because they haven't read it. And if they read it, they only read enough so that they can satisfy their own need not to believe it. I can do that with any book. The world isn't helping nobody now. Everybody's complaining about the world. The world is such a bad place. Well, guess what? You wanted your atheistic world, you got it. The world we have now is a world without God. Are you happy? You can go out and get shot. You can go out and get nobody's safe. You're about to be in martial law. The government can lie to you and exploit you and put you back in slavery. That's your world without God. Accept it. Because this world has destroyed God's law. It's removed itself from God's law. That's why it's his law, because when you remove it, the results of it being removed prove to be detrimental. The case study is the life we're living right now. The downfall of the family, the corrupt politicians. All of this is what happens when man's evils go unchecked outside the structure that he was created to exist in. We need to stop playing and acting like you can do whatever you want and it's cool when we complaining about people doing whatever they want.
All right, let's take a look at this from my man Astro. Shout out to my man Astro, man. Astro, I greatly appreciate it, because again, bro, this is what again gets you to become concrete and have a better understanding and solidify your faith in what you truly believe, it being challenged. So I greatly appreciate this. God made mistakes. Thank you for the $10, brother. God made mistakes throughout the Bible. Genesis chapter 6, verse 6. And the Lord repented that he made man on earth, and it grieved him in his heart. Repented means making a mistake, means he's not perfect. Hold on, let me read the entire verse for you, brother. All right, but you got to give context, okay? So this was referring to, okay, let's start at the beginning. All right, chapter 6, the entirety. See, this is what y'all geniuses like to do, man. Y'all are real good now. Y'all are good. What y'all like to do is y'all like to take verse, but y'all don't like to give the full context of what it was referring to. All right, so let me give you the full context of that. We're going to start with Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, which all they chose. Okay. And what they were saying is, he was talking about the angels, all right, that were coming down and mixing with the humans. Okay. So that's the part of the context. Okay. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet in this day shall be 120 years. Pretty much putting a limit on the lifespan of a person to be 120 years old. Okay. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, they bare children to them, and they became mighty men, which were old men of renown. This is what they talk about the Nephilim. Okay. When you had the mixtures of the fallen angels that were, again, having sex and choosing and taking wives of humans. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that eventually imagination of the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man, beast, and creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So this is what you do when y'all try to be oh so slick. This is what I told you. Okay. So who are we created in? The Bible tells you, and God created man in his image. Okay. So even though we may not have the understanding of or the same mindset of God, God has emotions of some sort. You see what I'm saying? The Bible tells you this. God had wrath. He has love. All of the things that people have, we were made in his image. So at some point in the time, it's not saying that he has made a mistake, but he has doubts. Does doubt means it's a mistake? No, it's just like, hey, some shit happens and you think twice about something. You're like, man, what the hell have I done? I tried to make this and so on and so forth, but he reassured and already corrected the thing he made in what you would call his mistake through Noah, because he had someone that was a righteous man, a man that was truly righteous in the midst of all kinds of chaos and evilness and wickedness, right? So what? The whole world was spared or due to what? One person the same man, because Noah was what? A man. So you can't say that, God had made a mistake, because man includes Noah. So that eliminates the whole mistake. And the same thing that he thought he was going to destroy, because that man had faith, you know what I'm saying? And that man was actually following the word of God and the direction of God, saves the whole world. You see what I'm saying? So that when you read the entire context, young fella, and that was a good shot now. Good shot. Very, very good shot. But that completes the whole cycle. And that's how and when God did not make a mistake. Okay. Again, our ways are not his ways, our thoughts are not his thoughts. But again, good shot, brother. Thank you for the 10. Shout out to Barrington G for the 3. God is not real, completely fiction. Thank you for that brother. Everyday Valet. I'm an atheist and not crash this argument. Hey, I can't wait, brother. We gonna open it up for you, Everyday Valet, brother. You are welcome to come up, brother. You're welcome to come up. But go ahead, Hulk, if you like to expand on that comment, and I'll bring it back up for you, brother. If you want to give a different
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what you say, look, I agree with what you're saying. I'm just going to add on to it. First of all, we got to remember, biblically, a perfectly created being can choose to reject a perfect law. Just because you were created perfect doesn't take away your choice to ignore that perfect law. We think that, God, you got to understand that it's the choice that actually is life. They're one and the same. God didn't want to have to force his creation to do anything, because they couldn't choose to. They wouldn't be free. It's like, do people understand that truly be free is to deal with all consequences, better or worse? But the moment you expect, it's like black people and the white man. If you expecting the white man to keep doing stuff for you, then you're choosing to be oppressed and choosing to put your life in someone else's hands. But to truly be free means that you have to deal with the free will of others, for better or for worse, and take personal responsibility for everything that happens, for better or for worse. That's what true freedom is that you have to deal with the fact that everybody has free will. You can't control your family. Some people are going to be raised into poor families, and some might be raised into affluent families. That your starting point doesn't determine your ending point. It's what you choose to make out of your circumstance in your life that determines your outcome. We have case studies all around the world. People coming from the roughest, poorest situation, and actually their adversity had made them some of the most character-rich people that ever lived. So you got to understand, and people want to say God is not real. First of all, how can you say God is not real when you don't even know who created you and how life came into being. Science will not tell you how life came from non-life, because from the Big Bang Theory, everything being materialist, and from a materialistic standpoint, that still doesn't explain where life came from. And see, people want to say, well, matter and life are not the same. Where did life come from? Science cannot tell you to this day, with everything they have with quantum mechanics and quantum theory and all that. They can't tell you where life came from, how organic material came from inorganic material. Science has nothing. They're not even close. Science cannot replicate anything without using something that's material from something that's already alive. Something like blood is impossible to make without having the biological material to create it from. They need the body of a man to even create stuff of a man. You need something. Even life, you need DNA from the man or woman, the egg or sperm or something. You need these things. You cannot just create them from dirt and just take enough elements together and make a sperm. You can't do that. So if you can't do that, you can't say that God doesn't exist, because science says it doesn't know. Science doesn't have an answer for you. So if science doesn't even admits it doesn't have an answer, how can you? Because at the end of the day, when you ask any atheist to explain the Big Bang Theory or where everything came from, they'll just say, well, science is claiming not to know. So science doesn't have an answer at all. But the logic tells you that creation comes from a creator, that life only comes from life. We see that you came from your mother and your father. You didn't come from a rock. So we see the correlation of life coming from life. We see that mind comes from mind. The mind that you have is built in the image just like your parents' mind. You didn't come from a mindless entity. You came from something with a mind. Minds are an ethereal quality of having a spirit, a soul. It's a consciousness that doesn't come from a rock. And see, science has no way to make this connection. That's why they give you this whole bunch of jargon that they taught you in school. Remember, education was a way for the government to basically feed you to their systems. It's not to really teach you natural law. Science and natural law are no longer equal. The LGBT agenda proved that. They're no longer equal.
Shout out to Everyday Valet. When God believers argue, it's like two boxers fighting with no arms. Shout out to the brother, man. Can't wait to open up this panel so you can get up here, man. Another great thing, man. Hope we'll start. We'll jump over to the whole Pope situation now currently. Okay. So, like you said, I don't think people understand the gift of free will, because if you didn't have free will, everybody would just do what God wants them to do. Everybody be perfect. Everybody go along all day, singing and praising.
They wouldn't have no knowledge of being alive.
Thank you. There be no good and evil. Okay. And again, God, you guys are limiting God. God tells you he makes all things, the good and the bad. Okay. The death and life, everything. Okay. And for him to limit you, that what's the point? That's the point of life. You have no choice. That's not life. That's literally a robot or a puppet. Who would want that? So he gives you the gift of free will to choose whether you want to be good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Hot or cold. And I don't think people understand just how much of a blessing and a gift that is for you to have your own mind. Like Hulk said, you literally, without free will, you'd be a robot. What's the purpose? That's not life.
Exactly.
You get the chance to go through life, experience certain things, whether they be good or bad, things that and learn from them and make you a better person and hopefully help people around you. Or you choose the other path and you're a detriment to everywhere you go. And the thing is, it's still for you to learn even from the evil, because you can learn something from anybody. A bum on the street can teach you something. The most evil motherfucker in the world can teach you something. It's just up to you to have the knowledge and the wisdom to see it. And you know what I'm saying? Again, a lot of people learn, but a lot of people don't know how to employ or you know what I'm saying, initiate it actually in their own lives, or in their daily walks. So God gives you the chance, bro, to have that, see stuff going around you, implement it, take that knowledge and apply it. Okay. knowledge is nothing without application. Just like he tells you, faith without works is dead. Again, all these things are in the Bible that people apply to that.
Faith is not just
Go ahead, brother. My bad. You got it. Go ahead.
because a lot of people think faith is just hope with no structure, but faith is actually believing that God's law is better for you. It's not just believing in your imagination. You have to have faith in something.
What's the modern day equivalent of faith? Science.
Yeah.
That's all science is. Science is faith, people.
When you do something, you believe that it's going to provide the result that it was designed to do.
Thank you.
And the same with God's law. When you obey God's law, you're having faith that it's going to produce the result that it said it's going to do. You have to obey it. So you're obeying it by faith. And you're not just obeying your feelings, you're obeying a written law because you realize that human nature, being emotional and irrational, you need the structure. And everybody knows that following a structure is going to have better results than pure emotion.
And that, again, it's a part of human nature to be what? To rebel, to buck, to challenge. It's just in you. But the thing is, like I said, nobody wants to be controlled, bro. Again, I literally my thing was, bro, is that, bro, I thought that I could go through life and nobody tell me what the fuck to do, bro. That was my whole thing because of, my upbringing and parentage. I was just so tired of, being controlled that I was like, man, fuck this shit. I'm gonna get out here. I'm gonna be grown and ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. But how realistic is that? It's impossible. Even the president of the United States, the richest motherfucker in the world, bro, you have to answer to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody answers to somebody. But as humans, you think that you can actually get out here and have a level of fucking dominance and control as to where you're just this motherfucking, individual that does whatever the fuck they do, bro. That leads to fucking death and destruction quite fast. Okay? And like Hulk said, man, oh shit, he dropped out, he'll come back. For whatever reason, this whole do as thou wilt attitude is out here, and people think that they can just do whatever the hell they do without consequence or repercussion. That's unrealistic. Not only is unrealistic, it's dangerous because what happens is it spreads like a virus, man, quite quickly. But he dropped out. He'll come back. He got the link, so he'll come back through. And like we'll be trust me, we gonna let y'all God hate niggas up here to say your piece and all this. Give me a quick second. We got to talk about the whole thing now that helped me pick this up. Let me share the screen. Fair use. All right. As you can see here, Pope Francis endorses same-sex civil unions for the first time as pontiff. Listen, man. It clearly tells you, bro. All right. Be ye in the world, but not of the world. Okay. And we all know the ties that the Catholic Church has had and how the Catholic Church pretty much was an arm of the occult and all these other beliefs and things. And this is how you get Christmas. That's how you got Easter. That's how you get all these pagan beliefs and holidays that we celebrate, right? The Catholic Church did that. The Catholic Church pretty much made a fucking deal with the rest of everything else that was pre-existing to get there and say, hey, man, what we'll do is we'll take something that we know is pagan, that's worshiping fucking other gods and other things and whatnot, what have you. We'll put a Christian spin on it, you know what I'm saying? And then give it to the people. Okay. So when you guys say stuff about how the Bible or the word is manipulated, it's quite true. And religion is why I feel like more people should get away from religion, because religious structure is just that. And all religion, bro, has nothing to do with the Bible at this point in time. And this proves it, because Catholicism is like the basis of Christianity and everything else. Any type of Christian or so-called Christian religious structure, okay? And we've known this for a while, but now it's clear as day. Everything from the symbology and the things that you look at in the Catholic Church, bro, even to the structure of the Vatican. The Vatican structure of the city itself is Masonic. The dimensions, all these things, the I think it's an obelisk. It's obelisk in the Vatican, right? Hope.
Yeah, yeah. It's an
Yeah.
obligate. Yeah, the same thing in Egypt, the Vatican, and Washington D.C.
Yeah. So once you get down to it and you understand what's really going on here, okay, all right, you understand that again, the Catholic Church has nothing to do with the Most High and the Bible. All right, it's just a structure, religious structure that has deeper ties to other things. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do, and it's at total, complete and total opposite. Okay, and now this just further like out of the park, bro. All right, the Christian church, you let it start at the smaller levels first, to where we saw like, hey, it was cool for everybody know the choir director, right? The choir director up there, and it's fine and it's cool. You let them be a part, and you let them get a position of leadership. Oh, it's just music; it's no big deal. And then it spreads to the point of where we got shit like this. People, hold on, hold on. Go ahead, Hope. You go ahead, brother. Let me find this.
Yeah. Look, the Catholic Church is a political entity. They don't even use the Bible. They use extra biblical text or non-biblical text to basically give man authority, and it's a man-centered thing. The Catholic Church is just like uh, all the rituals that the Bible exposes. The Catholic Church just does, and people don't understand this. Like the Bible tells you not to have graven images, not to worship statues, not to say vain repetitions, not to do all these things at the Catholic Church. So the Bible actually exposes false religions. Like we have to understand the Bible exposes the many false prophets, the wolves in sheep's clothing, the the false Christ, and all these false people that were creeping in the among the people of God unaware. The Bible exposes that this was going to happen because they're even like science. You think they're not corrupt science experts and scientists that are paid by corrupt people to promote lies? Of course, it happens. Anybody can be corrupted. Anybody can be have a result of mistaken identity or have their identity stolen. Like science does it all the time. Science is promoting many things that are not logical. It's supporting. They're trying to find the and I only want to say it, the same sex gene, as if we know there isn't any, but they're trying to come from a scientific perspective. Well, we can find the gene. They're trying. This is what I'm saying. Science has been corrupted because it's not based on natural law. It's based on people finding it to push agendas. That's why you have to pay so much money to go to school. I'm no offense, respect to all those who got their higher education. But your higher education doesn't mean that they're promoting truth. They're promoting their loyalty to the information that you've been approved to disseminate because they want people to infiltrate in society to promote the agenda of the government. Like most people now know that colleges are pushing feminism, women's studies courses, and LGBT courses, and all this stuff. Colleges are pushing this stuff more than ever because it's about you basically being socially engineered to create this new society of relativism so that people can come out of college and start wanting gender equality or saying gender isn't a thing and all this stuff. That's why they permitting that. Their women are men too or whatever nonsense that they're coming up with now. That's why they want people to go to school. They want to break down the structure, break down the logic that everybody understands objectively about life and make everything into subjective nonsense so that the government agendas will seem valid because the government has to be supported by its institutions. Why do you think information is filtered through these institutions? Like the medical industry is coming through with the pharmaceutical industry actually wrote the doctrine on modern medicine. That's why your doctor will likely prescribe you pharmaceutical drugs for everything that's wrong with you just to deal with symptoms, not to deal with cause,
God damn it.
but to actual just deal with symptoms. They will cut out your organs, they will medicate you to death before they actually tell you how that your body can heal itself with proper nutrition, maintaining getting out of a toxic environment. Even germ theory, Louis Pasteur, the man who created germ theory on his deathbed, exposed himself as a fraud. Even the guy they say Hippocrates or what's his name Hippocrates or Hippocrates whatever his name is, the father of modern medicine, said that food is medicine. For thousands of years in many cultures, they knew that herbs and food was ways to heal the body. Why is it now that, oh no, that's not true? Does it make sense that nature would hold the remedies to all illness, or does it make sense that you got to take some drug that destroys one part of your body to kill the symptoms in another? Does that make logical sense? Because that's what science supports. These drugs have adverse effect worse than your actual symptoms. But people pop pills and then wonder why they got all these issues, and it's like society is being polluted with misinformation and lies to the point where people don't even know when they're being screwed. And you won't know until you realize the chemo made all your hair and teeth fall out, and then you're like, well, damn, I'm worse off than I was. Maybe if somebody would have told me that I was eating toxic food, or that I needed to fast or do something that makes sense instead of just getting on some poison in my body, seeing if who's going to die first, me or the cancer. But when you allow illness and disease from bad lifestyles and misinformation to exist in your body for so long, you're destroying your point to the point where you're desperate. Most people go to the doctor out of desperation. What happened to prevention? We see this concept even in social situations. People don't think about preventing. They think about reacting. But wisdom, which comes from the Bible in many ways, tells you to avoid certain things, lifestyles, foods, behaviors, all of this that we see through objective reality actually cause detrimental effects in society and people. Nobody wants to say the Bible got that right. They want to say, well, that doesn't matter because somebody wrote it. Somebody wrote every book you read. You know, it's like the same old adage, who's doing the writing, me or the pen? If I'm using the pen as an instrument, that doesn't mean the pen is writing. And if God is using his creation made in his image to reveal himself, that doesn't mean that he's not the one doing it. We're
Right.
just instruments of our creator. We're made in his spiritual image. That mind you have, it didn't come from a rock. It came from a greater consciousness.
Hey, shout out to the brother right here, man. And listen, it's not that Isaac Newton was illogical. Again, it's just the fact of the matter that, like I said, he had a theory. And again, the way that it's explained to us, man, is like something as simple as an apple falling from a tree. That's the story that's told to us, okay? Falling from the tree inspired this man to create an entire theory, because at that point, gravity didn't have a thing before Isaac Newton. See, and this is another thing. Listen now. So again, God covers all bases if you think about it. From a scientific standpoint, let's just take the science of gravity, right? You can't see it, right? You can't feel it. Well, you can feel it, I guess, but you can't see it, but you know it's there. And a scientific theory that didn't exist until a man created it, even though it was something that was always here, right? Upon the earth, clearly, not just the earth, the universe, right? So you can understand the concept of gravity always existing, but you can't understand the concept of God always existing. You see what I'm saying? Again, God covers all bases. Even in the things that you create, this man-made has principles of God himself. But you guys want to eliminate God, but you don't want to eliminate gravity. So, nigga, by your logic, gravity is not real. There's no way gravity can be real because there's something that could always exist, even though everything points to the fact that it always existed.
Well, by that logic, Isaac Newton ain't real because they wasn't there to see him.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. And that's another thing too. How do you know that Isaac Newton existed? Okay.
A man wrote about him.
Thank you. Because there's been plenty of things in time that we come to find out that certain documents, certain people, like Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch is proven to be, that's a myth. Willie Lynch was fake. Willie Lynch was not a real person. The Willie Lynch letter was not real. It was something that was fabricated by a person and all made up. Okay. And we know this how, because again, you have fictional characters, Charles Dickens, Arthurs, and all these things, right? People that were in the fucking books, characters, comic books. You know, I got the comic book character up here. People are creative. People make up things all the time. So so when you guys say that, you go, oh well, such and such did this and such and such. How do you know you weren't there? How do you know if the Bible and a person could just write the Bible, which who the fuck would go through the time? Again, when the Bible has literal, geographical, and historic context that can be proven today, okay, but somehow the Bible's fake. But yet and still, when fucking Isaac Newton or whoever else comes along, Isaac Newton, Galileo, Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein, Copernicus, all of these people of renowned thought, right? Sir Isaac Newton, Shakespeare, all these people that were here way before we even could have ever dreamed is real. But again, like I said, there's no way God can exist. I don't get it. But let's get into this, man. Let me pull this up. I was trying to show the thing about Hope, and we still I'm gonna drop as soon as we get done with this, we're gonna open up the panel so y'all can come through. But pretty much, man, like Hope was saying, bro, if you think that this is why I don't deal with, believe in, or have anything to do with the so-called church today. The church has nothing to do with God. Just
Bible. That has anything to do with the Bible.
Yeah, the Bible or God himself. Listen, at this point in time, bro, 99.999% of churches, bro, are all for profit, like the Hulk said. They're in and of the world. Bro, the Bible clearly it's very few things that the Bible calls an abomination. Okay. Very few things that the Bible uses the word abomination with. And again, do what you want as an adult, but I'm speaking from a religious aspect and what the Bible says. It clearly says the Bible is not for anything to do with same-sex alternative lifestyle activity. I'm not saying that or whatever, but again, by the religious text, I'm literally going by what that says. Okay, the Pope is all the way fucked up, point blank period. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts, or none the way around it. And another big thing is people don't understand is, look, the Bible don't change with the world, bro. All right, the Bible stays the same. And that's why he tells you you're supposed to be in the world, but not of it, because you're not supposed to become secular and do what the world is doing. You're supposed to hold true to the word of the Bible. Even when everybody else is converting and changing to assimilate to what the world is doing. Go ahead, Hope. You got it, bro.
And you know what's crazy is that as the world spirals into chaos, the Bible is proving itself to be the better choice just by the results of the chaos. People don't understand that it's the secular relativism that's supporting this explosion of LGBT. That's relativism. That's a subjective view that there is no truth. There is no objective reality. Everything is subjective. That's what that is. That's the antithesis of the biblical worldview. So when you mad that women feel like men and they don't have a place they're not fitting in their role in the design. When you're mad that the LGBT agenda gets more justice than actual stuff that deserves justice, you're supporting. That's because of the secular worldview. You can't prove that none of this is wrong if everything is opinion. Because either God is the standard of objective law and truth higher than everybody. If there is no God, then everybody's opinion can be validated and justified just because they have it, not because of any results, just because they have it. People can choose not to care about anything you do or say. You can talk until somebody's blue in the face. They can say, "I don't care." Then what?
Hey, shout out to Astro for the $2, man. The Muslims feel the same way about their Quran. Yeah, man. And again, like I said, even the Quran, but you know what? The Quran acknowledges the Bible. And again, like when you get into the interpretations and different things, man, this is why I say, bro, religious structure itself is, a lot of people have said it, bro, is just, a thing of division to a degree and to a point. But when you go back and you say everybody's gonna fight for their religion, everybody's gonna, fight for their belief system, whatnot, what have you, which is cool. That's your right. But the thing is, man, what happens is the Bible is the only one that I'm telling you, bro. We can see it right now. The Bible is the best predictor ever, nigga. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, not just that. If you reverse all of the things that went wrong in your life, the Bible would have proved that that's the book that told you. It would have said, see, if you reverse engineer your life, you're going to come to the conclusion of the Bible. If you take an objective view of what's happening now, this development of the new world and market to beast system, that's actually happening right now. There's no other doctrine. There's no other book that says that the things that are happening right now, the Bible is the only book that got it right.
Yep.
The Bible is the only book that warns you that people are going to be lovers of themselves and and the men and the women are gonna change the natural use of each other and burn and lust one to the same sex. The Bible warned of these things in specific detail. This is not just some subjective. Oh, it could be interpreted any way, because if you read 2 Peter 1:20, and it says that no scripture is of any private interpretation, and what that means that there's one God, and His Spirit gives the same truth. So everybody that's in Him is going to come to the same conclusion, and when they don't, they're liars and deceivers. So you need to realize that the Bible is a collective standard of everybody that has it right. So that people who want to come in and infiltrate with lies and deceptions, that you can hold up to the standard of people who are going to be honest about the law that's written in their hearts and their minds, that the Bible confirms. It's just a standard that the collective had created to survive through time, so that we can keep a valid chronicle of truth that's been proven. So that when people stray and bring in new doctrines, we can say, no, this is what has been working and revealed itself to be true through prophecy, through application, through all of this stuff. It's been proven and tested for thousands of years. So when people come with new ideas and new things, this is the standard. Because you have to see, with so many people, you have to have a collective writing down, so that the standard won't be watered down or convoluted over time. Because then if it's everybody just walking around saying, well, this is what it is to me, but no, it's written down so that people won't do that. And guess what? If Rome truly changed the Bible, it would have exposed itself. But look at right now, why does the world hate Christians? If the Bible was so corrupt with the world, I mean, why do they censor Christians, but they don't censor nobody else?
Thank you. And again,
why are they doing that?
That's the reason why there's only one religion or belief system, if you want to call it that, however you want to put it. It's only one book that's constantly challenged and attacked by everybody in the world, bro. Period. Everybody always tries to disprove the belief in the Bible, but
specifically the government.
Yeah, is the thing to go. But let's play this, man, and see what they got to say about the Pope and so on and so forth. Let's go.
Tonight, this stunning news and a major departure from his
again. Fair use.
Francis is signaling he supports same-sex civil unions. CBS's Seth Doan reports tonight from Rome.
This is a man who cries with humanity.
Pope Francis's comments in the documentary were the most public support ever made by a pope. In an interview for the film Francesco, he said homosexual people have a right to be in a family. They are children of God. What we have to create is a civil union law. It's a dramatic departure from the past. This 2003 church document opposes gay unions because they obscure basic moral values and cause a devaluation of marriage.
This is not a change of doctrine, but it's a major sea shift in attitude.
Monsignor Anthony Figueiredo is a CBS News consultant.
But if church doctrine, church teaching doesn't change, then what really changes? Well, attitude is very key. Pope Francis has always upheld marriage is between a man and a woman. But civil laws have changed. And unless the church accepts these civil laws, it means we're actually promoting discrimination if we do not accept what has gone on the civil level.
Nora, LGBTQ advocates see this as an opening and an important message from a pope who's known for surprises.
All right, man. Oh, we got my man Fast in His Life. We got Everyday Valet in the building. Let me read this super chat real quick from Yusuf Familiar. Appreciate you, brother, for the 5. The Bible itself is a book of magic. Wow. It taps into humanity's deep subconscious. This is why people can use the same book for good or evil. That's a good take on that. All right. Okay. And before we get into it and get everybody's take, go down here. Okay. Pope Francis endorsed same-sex civil unions for the first time as pontiff while being interviewed on a feature-length documentary for Francesco, which premiered Wednesday at the Rome Film Festival. Again, y'all see this shit? Listen, ties, bro. Listen, the Rome Film Festival. Again, all of these things are, bro, you got to do the research, bro. All right, we got my man Fast in His Life over here, so Fast is finna hit y'all that. Guess what? He about to break it down to you. Okay, so, y'all know it's gonna come.
What's up, Mr. Fantastic, Brother Hog? How y'all doing, man?
We good, man. All right, so this, and again, another thing too. Let me go back and see if I can find this for y'all. Who did y'all notice here? Hold up. Let me go back.
What's up? What's up, Pastor?
You got it, bro. What's
Yeah.
going on?
God.
Mr.
Hold up.
Fantastic, do you want me to wait or?
Yeah, just wait 1 second. I'm trying to show
Okay.
something. I'm trying to find this little girl that's been all over everything. Where's she at? Let me stop here. Hello, where's she at? She coming. Bam, right there. Who's that? Who is that? The little green piece girl, the whole girl that everybody was talking about this year. Just a random person who somehow gets a one-on-one meet and greet with the Pope, man. Again, bruh, this shit is all again. shout out to Mag. Dumb on, people. Dumb on.
It's a boy. It's a boy. It's not a girl. It's a boy. Bam. It's a boy. Look. Wide shoulder, no hip, jawline. It's a boy.
Not the boy aspect of it, but just the whole thing of this shit being scripted, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole this little girl, out of all the fucking children in the world, somehow gets appointed as a fucking environmentalist specialist.
Yeah.
What credentials does this little girl have in order for what's other than some tears and some you guys are gonna kill the what are we doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you got to think about this shit and how someone as a child gets to have this meeting with the Pope after she's had all of this media attention. But sexual people have the right to be in a family. They are children of God. Francis said in the one sit down interviews of the film, you can't kick someone out of a family nor make their life miserable for this. What we have to do is a civil union law that way they are legally covered. So again, man, what we always say in this space too, bro, how does a sexual orientation demographic gain so much power globally, man? All right, black people, think about this now. And again, this is why this whole family thing, we should be challenging this, and it should be much easier for especially black men to establish our place in this society. Because hold on, you mean to tell me you got the Pope coming out here and officially endorsing families of same-sex marriages, but he won't endorse the changing of child custody laws so that men, actual biological fathers, can have access to their children? You see what I'm saying? You're promoting LGBT same-sex families over actual men being able to have interactions and have relationships with their children on a traditional level. You see what I'm saying? So, bro, this shit is not by chance, bro. And that lets you know that this is deeper, much deeper shit going on that way. But we got my man Fashion in here, man. We'll give it a Fashion, then we'll let everyday valet get in here because everyday valet say he got these motherfucking these hooks and uppercuts for us, man, and I can't wait to hear it. So we're gonna get his aspect. So go ahead, Fashion, then we get to everyday valet. Go ahead, bro.
All right, Mr. Fantastic. You know I'm about to go in.
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
Bible, hey, all the people out there, you know, they hate me because they be like, hey, there goes that Bible guy. Now, Mr. Fantastic, I didn't get a chance to catch up to the beginning. I just came in like a few minutes when Brother Hall was talking. I don't know why I didn't get any notification. I don't know, YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. But first, I want to mention, right? Everybody know this verse the Bible talks about. It says, what is has been, what will be is what is, and there's no new thing under the sun. And I know some people are gonna be shocked with this. Every technology we're using right now existed before. And some people say, well, how do you know? Let me ask you, when quote unquote archaeologists go and discover stuff, do they come and tell you what they discover? No, you find out about it years later. Think about the time where quote unquote industrial revolution began. Who gained that knowledge? Did men just hit his head and be like, oh, you know what? I know how to make a steel, how to make a train. Oh, yeah, let's make those bars. There is no accident in this world. Some knowledge doesn't come from man. One good example. This the son of what's his name? Steve Jobs, right? The Apple guy. When you read his biography, his story, what did he say? Back in the 80s, he was trying to figure out what to do, right? He took a trip to was it Nepal, and went into a cave, and he said he went in there. He stayed in a cave naked for 3 days, and he saw things. And he comes back to the West. He becomes a genius. People don't hear those kind of stuff, right? They're just, oh, this guy shows up on, he's quote unquote smart. He wears glasses. He's coming with technology. Oh my God! Oh, he's a genius. Yeah, but where is his source of knowledge, right? People don't tell you there's only two sources of knowledge, either from the Creator through the knowledge of Scriptures and the Holy Spirit, or the other guy, right? Now, Mr. Fantastic, I had a video on my channel about yoga, right? Where I'm talking about a lot of people are doing yoga, even quote unquote Christians, not knowing that yoga is a religious ritual to ancient gods. There is one god, Indian god called Krishna. Krishna, in one of his statues, he's holding a remote, a TV remote. Now, let me ask you, how in the hell the Indians knew about a remote attached to their god from thousands of years ago? How? Let me ask you, like, was there a TV back in, BC? Okay, how is a god statue as a remote? Nobody can answer that, right? But the Bible gives you an answer. Every technology we're using right now existed before. And speaking about, one last thing before I can pass it to the brother, I want to show you in the Bible, because the Bible is written in codes, and only people who actually want to invest in the Bible and do studies can see it. The Bible spoke about the internet that we're using right now. Let me show you. When you go in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 15, it talks about the serpent representing Satan, because the Bible calls Satan the prince of the air. You can't have Wi-Fi without what? Oxygen. You can't have communication without what? Oxygen. You can't have radio waves without what? Oxygen. So in order for Satan to control the world, he needs what? The air. Now, it says in verse 15 says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood. Now, when you look at the Greek word, because the Bible, this passage was translated from the Greeks, flood in the Greek, potamos. Definition: a stream. Mr. Fantastic, what are you doing right now? You're streaming.
Yep.
And watch this. The second definition: a torrent. And then the third definition: floods. And there are other passages in the Bible where it tells you how the Most High, or the Creator, the same system that Satan is going to be using, the Creator, he's going to use his spirit, and he's going to use his same system to basically, quote unquote, spread the truth, right? In the same internet that Satan is pushing all this stuff, we have people who, quote unquote, what? Have the scripture to preach. And guess what? Because it's Satan's system, that's why when a brother like Brother Hawk was shadow banned. Why? Because Satan don't want him to go against his quote unquote system. So anybody out there that are talking down the Bible, the time is coming. You're gonna be like, I want to hear Brother Hawk or Brother Fasting speak. You won't find us, because we're gonna be out of here. Because anybody who's reading the Bible, you know what's coming. Fire. That's all.
And I will add that if you go on my page, I showed why the government is actually looking for a buried Nephilim. It's in the government. It was on the government site. And remember, the Nephilim only exists biblically. Doesn't exist in the secular history. So why would the government be looking for something that only exists in the Bible if the Bible isn't real?
All right, shout out to my man Everyday Valet in the building. Everyday Valet, what's up with you, brother? Go ahead, man. It's your show, man.
Hey, can y'all hear me well?
Yeah, you good. You coming in good for now, man. Go ahead.
All right. First, I wanted to say a theory is a fact. Everybody uses that word wrong. They usually mean hypothesis when they say theory. Theory is a fact. When you say theory, it's a fact. Germ theory, the theory of gravity. A theory has facts involved in it. So when you guess in something and you say I have a theory, you're using the wrong word. I just wanted to say that.
That's not true.
A lot of people do that. It is. You can look it up. You can look it up for yourself. Everything that I say,
brother.
Look it up
The
for
Big
yourself.
Bang, the Big Bang Theory isn't proven.
Yeah, Big Bang isn't proven, bro.
The Big Bang Theory, and I don't study that, so I'm not the one to talk to about that.
No, but you said the word theory, and they call it
theory means fact.
Oh,
The Big
no,
Bang,
but no.
from science standpoint, happened.
Wait,
Let me explain.
Yes, it's not
real quick, Everyday Valley. I'll read.
I'm sorry.
I'll read the definition of what they say theory is. Okay, theory: a noun, a supposition, or a system of ideas extended to explain something, especially one based on general principles, independent things to be explained. The set of principles which are the practice of activity is based, an idea used to account for the situation or justify a course of action. Okay. Help me see.
Science. Look up scientific theory.
Collection of propositions
and read the definition.
Subject. It doesn't say that a theory is a fact anywhere. Again, theory is a thing.
Did you read scientific theory?
Okay,
it's just an explanation, brother.
Yeah, theory is an explanation, man.
No, it's not an explanation. It's not an explanation. When somebody says theory, it's a fact involved.
Then why do they call it the Big Bang?
Gravity theory.
What? Well, why when we told you big? Hold on. Let me speak. Let me explain. Let me explain what I'm getting at. They call it the Big Bang
You're not
theory.
explaining it because you don't understand it. Obviously.
I'll wait.
I'm sorry. I'm good. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying they call it the Big Bang theory, and clearly you can't sit there and say, well, because you haven't studied that particular type of science, that the word theory doesn't have any relevance in that situation.
Well, theory, I mean, all I'm stating is science says that the Big Bang happened. It did happen. That is a fact.
No. That's inaccurate. Everyday Valet, that's inaccurate. No, the Big Bang theory is not factual. And again, it's still trying to be proven as a fact to this day. So the Big Bang theory has not been proven as a fact. It's still hypothesized.
Yes, it has.
Then
I'm 100% sure about that.
Okay,
we're in the science. We're in the science.
On this.
No, you should
I can't get into Big Bang theory.
No, hold on. You can't. Hold on. You can't say it happened, but you don't even know where your evidence is.
Yeah.
Science has the evidence. I'm not going to do your homework for you.
Science lies.
If you
science. Hold on.
Right.
Science lies, sir. Science tells lies too.
I think he's just trolling because we all went to school.
No,
we all took science
I'm
class.
Not trolling. I'm not trolling. Don't do that.
Take it. Using your own words, you say that science says it, right? So if science says it, we all took the same classes. So how in the hell you gonna know that science says so and we don't when we all took the same class?
Because evidently I've did more research on it than you have.
No,
tell me the doctrine that says the Bang.
Yeah,
me calling wasn't about Big Bang. Okay.
So what theory? Well, give me the theory that you're going to prove.
Theory as far as what?
No, you tell me.
Well, I know. I was just stating that scientific theory is a fact. That's all I was saying.
But it's not.
Man, what you're saying doesn't make any sense.
You can look at that for
I don't
yourself.
need to look up anything. It's the burden is on you. The burden. You came on the show. Hold on, sir.
The definition of scientific theory.
Sir, hold on, sir. You came on the show. The burden is on you to prove your case. We already are proving that.
I'm not going to prove theory.
Well, then why are you here?
I can say that your God is not real. We can have that argument.
How can you be scientific and you don't have no proof?
Yeah, because science is about
not necessarily scientific. Hold on. I'm not necessarily scientific, but it seems like I've done more research than you guys have.
It sounds like you have a lot of faith in nothing. You don't.
I don't use faith. I don't use faith. Faith is a weak position.
Then give us proof.
Faith is a weak position. You
give
use
us
faith
proof.
When you don't
I'm
have
asking
evidence.
you. I'm asking you for proof, and you're not giving me anything
proof
but words.
Proof of what? What do you want proof of?
Any theory.
The proof of gravity. Does gravity exist? The
I know
theory
density.
of
Hold on,
gravity.
no,
Does gravity
no,
exist?
no, 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 no. The effects that we call gravity is also equivalent to density and buoyancy.
Have you
Why
ever
does
heard of the theory of gravity? Yes or no?
yes? Have you ever?
All right. Have you ever heard of?
So explain. Hold on. Explain to me.
Have you
Hold on,
ever heard
sir.
of germ theory? Have you ever heard of germ theory?
Germ theory has been proven false by the person who created it. Next question.
So germs don't exist.
No, he's not saying that germs don't exist. But again, the explanation this is the problem with science, everyday valet. Science is ever evolving as you discover more information.
Right, and that's the thing that religion doesn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Science goes back.
Science
has the ability to go back and say that they made a mistake. And they come out and they say, this is what we have.
Hold on. If science saying it's made a mistake, but it proves evidence that proved it to be a lie, it wasn't a mistake. It was a planned lie. Because
that's because science cares about the truth.
Hold on, sir. Science. Well, facts don't change. And so if they made a mistake, then where were the facts? So where would how can they be facts? Hold on, sir. How can they be facts if they were proven not to be true?
Maybe in that case they got something wrong. But
then
the
it's
fact
not
of the
fact.
matter is,
Then it's not fact.
they go back and they change what they
But
said.
hold on, sir. One thought at a time.
Doesn't do that.
One thought at a time.
Doesn't do that.
Hold on. One thought at a time. If it's proven not to be true, it never was a fact, sir. We got to agree on that.
It depends on the theory of it, because there's more to it than just a fact.
It all depends. If fact is a fact.
More research.
Hold on, real quick.
Research.
Everyday valet, brother.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Here you go. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I see it.
The beginning of the big wasn't the beginning after all, bro. Again, Big Bang is still up for discussion.
Well, I never said it was the beginning. We were talking about whether it happened or not. It didn't say it didn't happen.
No, but let me hold on. Let me.
I didn't come here to argue that.
No. Listen. I know everyday valet, but I'm saying that's to support your theory. That's to disprove your theory thing. You're saying that a theory is a fact. Theory isn't a fact. A theory is a combination of, again, where you have scientific hypotheses and belief systems that you use to fucking support the theory. You feel what I'm saying? So a theory is.
Did you read the definition? Did you read the definition of scientific theory?
That's what I just gave it to you. When I looked up the definition, it said of scientific orders and ideologies and hypotheses. They had hypotheses in there. That again, so
Mr. Fantastic. Because I know how these people do that. They want you to give a simple answer. The simple answer is a theory is basically a question, and then after the question, you try to find the answer. That's why hypothesis is included in the definition. So when they said the Big Bang Theory, right? When they said the Big Bang Theory, they said, well, this is how we're rationalizing how the Earth came to be, but they can't prove it because nobody was there. Okay, that's what science says. It says go ahead.
Everyday valet. Hold on. We're gonna do that, but let me. I got two other people here, so we're gonna come back to you, and we'll get back to we'll come back to you after Daughters of the Kings and Bro Truth goes. So Daughter of the Kings, go ahead.
Well, hi. I know I'm just like a middle-aged like white female, so I hope y'all are okay with me talking, but I'm hearing a lot of this, and the Bible talks about science. I shared the verse, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called." The word science in the Strong's is called gnosis, and it's knowledge. Let's remember that the fall in the garden happened when the serpent tempted them to eat of the forbidden fruit, which was knowledge. And Ecclesiastes says that the words of the wise are like goads, and the words of scholars are like well-driven nails. That means they're firmly fixed, like our earth was fixed in its foundations by the Lord, given by one shepherd. That shepherd is Jesus Christ. And further, my son, be warned by these, of making many books there is no end, and much study is wearisome to the flesh. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is man's all. So saying that the Bible isn't true or any of this, it tells us this. Do you know in the Bible everywhere it says beware, be careful, do not be deceived. The Holy Spirit showed me that everywhere it says, beware, do not be deceived, that's a warning that there's going to be a false doctrine of truth that is going to surround the information immediately preceding and immediately following this passage. You know, if Satan can make us doubt the word of God, then there's nothing to stand on. You know, faith, you know, it says in the Bible that we are to do the works of God. And it warns the church of Sardis about dead works. But what are the works of God? You know, it says that this is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he has sent. That's faith. Do you know what I mean? That's what faith is right there. So the work of God is to have faith. And that means that we have to believe what he's saying. So, you know, the Pope is a false prophet. He is spouting these doctrines of demons and doctrines of devils out there. And what? To lead people away. Genesis 49:17 says, Dan is a serpent by the path, a viper by the way, to bite at its horse's heels, to make its rider fall backwards. What is that? That's the apostasy. You know, the apostasy. We hear, you know, Satan, the serpent biting at the heels. The apostasy is here. The beast kingdom is upon us, my friends. It is upon us. And you know what? We're supposed to divide the spirit. You know, we're supposed to rightly divide the word and test the spirits. This, man, I mean, my heart hurts for people because people don't understand the word of God and they seek truth outside of everything except where truth can be found.
Yeah, and I can add to what she's saying. When you look at the LGBT agenda, you got to understand what is the goal of that. See, when you make everything subjective, when you make everything emotional, and you put the irrational people, you give the irrational people legal power to, you know, first of all, we know that the LGBT community creates a situation where the children suffer. So the men are growing up weak. The women are having control to destroy men because men establish values and principles and structure. So what's happening is the more feminine mind in society, the more that people are going to depend on whatever the government says. And so you're setting up the infrastructure for the government to become what people worship. And we're seeing that right now. People are literally worshiping the government. And I tell anybody, when has the government ever proved to tell the truth? I'll wait.
All right, shout out to Man Cave Blogging Channel for the 5. Thank you, brother. Shout out to the panel, especially Spiritual Logic and Fantastic. No, thank you, brother. Greatly appreciate the donation. Shout out to our man New. Y'all shut up real quick for homegirl. Be the first, man. And look, bro, just because she's a woman quoting strict scriptures, bro, doesn't mean she's teaching. Again, there's men here.
Yeah.
See, that's another misinterpretation
Yes.
of you motherfuckers that don't know nothing about the Bible. I know we talking about the Bible and say motherfuckers, but hey, it's what it is. So again,
and Mr. Fantastic, I'm glad you brought it up because I wanted to mention it. And people, like I said, they don't look at the concept. Even Peter says that a lot of people read Paul, they don't understand it. That's why you have all these denominational, what they say, oh, you don't have to follow God's law. You know, it's all about grace. I'm like, wait a minute. How can you have grace if you kill your brother? Like, you know, you have grace because of the laws. How can you? It's stupid. But like the whole concept of when he says about women talking in church, that's what we're seeing right now. Men are not in leadership position. Women are running rampant. So Paul he saw it was happening. He said, "Hey, you know what? We need to have order. Women, keep silence. If you want to say anything, go to your husband. There's not gonna be no shaking and being and jumping and doing all that bullshit that you see in church now."
Hey man, so you believe in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All y'all up top. Do y'all believe in the flood?
The flood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been scientifically proven that supports it also.
The flood, scientifically proven.
I won't say proven. Hold on. I won't say proven. Let me rephrase that. It's scientific data that supports that there's a flood that happened along the magnitude which the Bible explains.
No, it's not.
So higher than there's no way in hell. Higher, you're talking a flood. Higher than
Mr.
Mount
Fantastic.
Everest.
Let him speak. Fasten, let him speak. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just so much things wrong with that. For example, like you see people climb Mount Everest. You see them with oxygen tanks. You see them with coats on because it snows up there because the atmosphere is not dense up there. You get oxygen poisoning if you don't have the right gear. You mean to tell me a man from 5 to 2,000 years ago was up there breathing that air, all up there in a wooden boat, but they proven that can't balance or be afloat animals that don't belong up there? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let's say the flood did happen. How can 2 animals repopulate a population? How can 8 people repopulate the planet?
Mr.
But that's
Fantastic.
what the Bible states what happened.
Watch this, Mr. Fantastic.
And
so, Mr. Fantastic, based on what they just said, that's what I say. It shows you that they don't read the Bible.
No,
the
you
Bible.
don't know science.
Listen. The Bible literally tells you what science calls the genome, right? They what? They have what? The cat family. Listen, they have the cat family, right? Watch this. The dog family. Do you know that most of the dogs in the Western world, those are all GMO animals? They're not original animals. A real dog will be from the family of wolves, jackals, and what's the other one? The fox. The hyenas family, yeah. So, and because, like I said, because people, they're so stuck on the propaganda, they don't even understand your breed of dogs. They literally tell you those breed of dogs, they're not natural. They're genetically modified. They're fake.
I can 2 dogs.
They're fake pets.
Group of dogs. I can 2
dogs. We know we
breed
dogs. We know that. I don't understand.
Yeah, but how can
hold on. Let me say your thing. First off, DC, you are inaccurate. You don't need a fucking mask to be at the top of Mount Everest. Secondly,
what? Really?
Yeah.
So you're gonna breathe up there with no air. I mean, with no oxygen tank.
Secondly,
on top.
Secondly, I can literally pull you up videos of people that's went on Mount Everest and
they can't be up there for that long though. That's the problem.
Hold on, brother. And they don't have on oxygen tanks or oxygen masks. 1, okay. 2, again, when you're trying to disprove something when you're not even using proper geography, okay? Just because say something is high enough to cover Mount Everest at one point, right? That doesn't mean the water is going to be equal everywhere, right? Is sea level equal everywhere, brother?
No.
All right, then. So if sea level isn't equal everywhere, that doesn't necessarily mean that. And hold on, and Mount Everest is, where's Mount Everest? Mount Everest is in Asia, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Europe.
Yeah, between India and China, with the Himalayas.
I didn't interrupt y'all. Hold up, I didn't interrupt y'all. Let me rock. So this is what I'm saying. So if you use the geography, you have an understanding that sea level is not the same at every level. And of course, Himalayas is not where geographically that Noah would have been in the first place. Why would you use that as a way to disprove the point of the earth being flooded? And again, who said, hold up, who said, and again, see, another thing, you're wrong because the Bible tells you after a certain point in time, the dove was able to go do what?
Go pick up a tree that doesn't grow up at altitude.
Can I say something real quick?
Hold on,
you gotta leave from
hold on, everyday valet. I'm gonna throw it to you, brother. Trust me. Now, I didn't interrupt none of y'all. I let y'all rock. Now let me rock. So again, DC, is sea level the same everywhere on Earth?
No,
of course not. Okay, so that means when they sent the dove out to get the olive branch, what did that let you know? That the whole world, the flood was subsiding, and the flood was over, but there was still life and things left that it was able to go to as the flood subsided, right? Because flooding happens, right? Because we can use geography, we can use common sense, we can use science. Okay. Flooding happened in Katrina, right? Katrina was a great flood that's recent knowledge, correct?
Yeah.
Is Louisiana still flooded there, or did the flooding subside?
Yeah, but the water still exists. Water still exists. Precipitation is a thing. Where did the water go?
Again, brother. Why are we not still in the ice age?
What do you mean?
I asked you a simple scientific question. Why are we not still in an ice age? Did the Earth not experience an ice age at some point in time?
Yeah,
theoretically, right?
Yes, it
all right
did,
then.
yeah.
So why are we not still in the ice age?
Because the Earth got heated up.
So weather is ever changing, right? So just like precipitation, all right, or
precipitation doesn't change.
Say again?
Precipitation doesn't change. That's
a lie. That's
what?
a lie.
Oh my God! How?
What do you mean?
No, rain, sleet, hail are different types of
There are different versions of precipitation. For one, there are different. Just like there was an ice age. Again, if there was a downpour of worldwide proportions of rain enough to fucking raise the thing again, bro, you're trying to put a limitation on God, bro. You're trying to put a limitation on God.
I just so much things wrong with it. Like, for example, like all that water was on the earth in the first place.
Everything you just said with the ice age.
Okay, then prove this wrong,
brother. Brother,
can I say something?
Go ahead.
The only thing is, we know the flood didn't happen because even something as simple as the fish, you know, it's such thing as it's such thing as saltwater fish and freshwater fish. Yep. If the world flooded, that means it would be a species of fish that wouldn't live, because you can't. It's certain fish that only can live in certain environments. So if the whole world was flooded, how can they survive that? Even you laughing, but those are little things that you have to look at. I'm not laughing. That are logical.
Hold on, I'm not.
Not only that. Hold on. I don't need you to talk right now.
Okay.
You got going by the biblical standpoint of the flood. You had two animals, and some of them had like 7. It's not possible for 2 animals to repopulate a population of a species. It's not possible, because it's just like Adam and Eve. There's no way that they can make 7 billion human beings from 2 people. It's not possible.
How do you know there's 7 billion?
Because that's what it says the last time. That's the amount of people that's in the world today.
Can you prove it?
No, hold on. Why are you talking that? Why are you talking about that? We're talking about the Bible,
can you prove 7 billion? Can you prove 7 billion?
You can look it up for yourself. Look it up for yourself.
But like I say, so you believe what he says. You believe.
You believe what he says.
If you yell,
hold on. Let him rock one at a time. Go ahead.
All he did was cut me off. I mean,
go ahead.
Let's be logical about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys know what happened when you breed a mother dog and like a son dog. You have genetic disabilities that happen. So how can it doesn't make any logical sense to think that all these stinking animals in that stinking ass boat, who's shoveling the shit, who's cleaning all that shit up, all the animals on the boat. It makes no logical sense. You would die from ammonia poisoning from all the piss that would be on the boat.
Oh God!
And hold on, who the hell had the fleas on them? Why couldn't God get rid of fleas? You know, why couldn't he get rid of parasites and stuff like that if he started the world?
Yeah, each of every parasite
that survived. It makes no logical sense.
Exactly.
It makes no sense. If
and
you use logic,
it
makes no sense. The whole Bible is like, it has nice stories in it,
it's a
but it makes no sense.
It talks about slavery too. I wonder if they want to believe that. God,
yeah, they believe it. They believe it. They praise the white man for bringing them over here to.
That's why. That's one reason why I don't do religion. I see so much hypocritical shit.
Let me.
They love it because they got white
who put it on the slavery?
Let
me talk about the slavery part. See, Mr. Fantastic. This is yet again. You have niggas speaking out of ignorance.
Can you address how 2 animals can
let me speak on slavery.
Hold on, real quick, Everyday Valet. Hold on, we let you rock, bro. Let me read these super chats. Greatly appreciate you, brothers. And then we go. We still ain't got Bro Truth in here, man. So I got to get Bro Truth before we let y'all do the go back around. So shout out to my man.
You didn't read scientific. Anybody who's looking at it, read scientific theory, and it proves my point on it being a fact. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Listen. Man Clay blogging channel again for the $5. Thank you, brother. Again, greatly appreciate you. There's a flood story in multiple cultures globally. Thank you. That's over several religions, brother, have the same story.
Yeah, but they can't pinpoint the time where it happened.
They are Bible readers or not. I'm out. Blessing to the panel. Greatly appreciate you for donating, brother. Greatly appreciate you. Shout out to my man Matt Blaylock. LOL. People act like landforms don't grow over time. Mount Everest was not as tall back then as it is now. Another great point. This is simple geography, people.
Oh my God.
No,
it doesn't take just 2,000 years for a mountain. No pun intended.
Hold up, DC. Do you understand and do you know that there are mountains that are still being formed to this day?
Yeah. How long does it take? Not 2,000 years.
No, thousands upon thousands of years.
Yes. I mean, okay. So when did the flood happen?
Shit, I don't know.
Exactly, you don't know.
Well, it's 6,000. They estimate based on what we know is around 6,000 years from a bit.
Yeah, according to that calendar.
Let me ask all the atheists a question. Hold on, what? Yeah, atheists. Hold on, man.
Wait. I'm not an atheist.
Hold on.
I'm an agnostic.
Before you go, let me finish reading super chats real quick. Let me finish reading super. New again, brother. Appreciate you, New. One of the A1 Day ones, man. One of the believers need to call into the Atheist Experience shows on Sunday. Appreciate you, brother. Native Iran, big money, fantastic. Nah, it's big money.
Yeah,
hey, man, y'all need a little bit of help. Psycho Atheist or Young Swift, man. Hey, man, y'all gotta come up here, bro. Cause y'all, it's not going well for the anti-Bible people. Y'all trying.
This is what happens in church, man. Y'all just jump on.
I just want to make a statement.
Hold on now. Hold on, I'm making sure you guys get your whole point out. I know fasting is got that motherfucking mic of God. That nigga got the voice of God. But I'm calming them down and making sure you guys get your full thing out. Everyday Ballet done had this whole thing. But Hope, ask your question, then we go into Bro Truth. Go ahead, Hope.
Yeah, I hear that the atheist is talking about a lot of things, but you can't prove a lot of things that make sense either. Like, it's saying that you don't understand something doesn't disprove a lot of things, because we don't understand how life started, but we can know we're alive.
No, so that's just an honest position to say you don't know.
Hold on, sir. You're not saying you don't know. You're saying we're wrong. That's the difference. Now I'm done.
Oh, was that the atheist talking?
Huh?
Nah, that was spiritual logic, bro.
Yeah, okay. I still address my concerns about how two of a male and a female can make repopulate a species. And how can 8 people make Chinese people, black people, white people, all these nationalities that you have if the whole world got flooded and repopulated by 8 people?
But I mean, for an example, right? You ask those questions.
How many times would he have to fuck his mom in order to get the population going?
Based on the questions that you just asked, have you tried to find the answer? Or you just asking?
Yeah, I use logic.
I'm saying, have you tried to find the answer? Because those questions you ask are legitimate. You say
right.
No, so my question is, what was the answer?
Hold on, Faster. Hold on. We got to get Bro Truth in here. Let me shout out this Councilor Murray for $4.99. Was the flood when the ice age ended? Do y'all believe the ice age existed, or was it just Europe covered in ice instead of the whole Earth? Again, I mean, scientifically, science says there was an ice age. So you can't argue that the ice age didn't exist if and when they're using science to disprove the Bible. You see what I'm saying, Councilor Murray? This is where we come up with the conflict. You feel me?
Science doesn't disprove the Bible. Science doesn't disprove the Bible.
Huh?
Science doesn't care about the Bible. The Bible, it only cares about the natural world and what we can test. You can't test anything. You can't test God. We know prayer doesn't work.
But everyday ballet, it's certain things you can't even test because carbon dating is destroyed once certain elements are happened. If you have something that's underwater for such a long period of time, carbon dating is inaccurate. You see what I'm saying? So there are even limitations to the science, brother.
And I agree with you.
But let's get Bro Truth in here, and then we got my man Clay Bogging Channel that came through. So shout out to Bro Truth. It's on you, brother. Go right ahead. Bro Truth, you there?
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, brother.
Hey, what's happening, man? It's a very lively show in here, as it should be. I always like hearing these discussions amongst brothers. Whether we disagree or agree, you know, it's always good to have a lively debate on these subjects. You know, I'm not a Bible thumper, you know, by far, you know, but I do believe in the higher power. I do believe that this universe that we in is created, and mainly base that off of the fact that this is way too intricately designed. It's way too unique. If you take the tilt of the earth and the position it is from the sun and our atmosphere, all of these are very delicate systems where if you change one minute atom, you change one minute number in the equation of how this earth spins or its tilt, we don't have life on this planet. So from a life standpoint, it's very clear that the theory of evolution is absolutely bunk. It's not even at this day and age that what we know from biological sciences, it doesn't hold water. There's no way
research have you done on that?
Bacteria. Now, a single cell bacteria, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, it actually has over 100 million pages, right? If you had to make a comparison between the Encyclopedia Britannica and a single cell bacteria, the DNA info in that single cell material will equal over 100 million pages of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Okay, that's how complex one single cell organism is. Just one single cell organism. Now, and we are to believe that an organism that complex is to just sprout out of nowhere. Now, that single cell organism is made up of multiple different smaller thousands of protein chains. And those protein chains are made up of amino acids. And they all have to be ordered correctly in order for any of this shit to make sense. The amino acids have to be designed properly in order to form a protein that will form a single cell organism. There was a Nobel Prize winner. He was a biologist. His name was Francis Crick, and he basically he won the Nobel Prize. He was a Nobel Prize winner for discovering the structure of DNA, and he actually came out and said that the chances of a single cell organism forming in the ocean in itself, and that's the theory of evolution.
It's not. That's abiogenesis. That is abiogenesis. You're already wrong. You did no research.
Hold on. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Look, no. I want to hear your dispute. What were you saying?
When you talk about the single cell coming out of the goo, that's abiogenesis. That's not evolution. Evolution simply means change over. Hold on. Evolution simply means change over time.
Bro, things change over time. The life had to start. The theory of evolution.
Human beings are changing now. Some people are born without wisdom teeth. Some people are born without tonsils because we no longer need those.
Just deal with the base facts of evolution, okay, sir? I don't want to get off.
All right, so don't talk about abiogenesis and act like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
you're talking about two different things.
Evolution has maintained the same over years. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about evolution. Evolution simply means change over time. That's all it is. Change over time.
Hold on, real quick. Let me corral it a little bit. You know, when he says evolution, he's talking about Darwin's theory of evolution. So when we refer to evolution, we're talking about.
I understand that, but when he talks about the single cell, that's not evolution. That's abiogenesis.
Did you take a science class?
Let me clarify this. The theory of evolution from a Darwinist standpoint started off with microorganisms, single cell organisms. Then it basically.
He's talking about single cell organisms.
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish.
That's a part of Darwinism, though.
Let me lay out my understanding.
No, it's not. God,
I study this shit, bro.
Yeah,
and
we all took classes.
Just look up abiogenesis and then look up evolution. It's two different things.
let me finish this. Okay. So from a Darwinistic perspective, you have microorganisms. That was the first organism to sprout in the primordial ooze. Microorganisms, single cell organisms. Then they evolve into invertebrates. From invertebrates, you have an evolution into fish. Then from fish, it goes into amphibians. From amphibians, it evolved into reptiles. From reptiles, it evolves into mammals. From mammals to apes, and then to people. That is the chain of evolution from a Darwinistic perspective.
Yeah, like we learned in science.
That has been known.
Did you just read that, or you studied that from the top of your head?
Y'all gotta get some better mics, man.
Can y'all hear me? Is it?
No, you're fine. It's the other brother who's he's on an Obama phone.
He's good though, man. He's working. Oh man.
Oh, not the jitterbug.
No, you good, man. Go ahead.
Well, nah, man. So this is the theory of evolution. This is what Darwin laid out in this book, The Origins of Species. If you go and look at it, this is the theory. Okay. So based off of that, what was Francis Crick? So Francis Crick, he actually he co-founded. He actually won a Nobel Prize for discovering the structure of DNA. And he basically theorized, he actually did the math behind this, right? And he said the chances of a single cell organism sprouting out of the ocean miraculously, sporadically, was 1 in 10 to the 206 power, bro. 1 in 10 to the 206 power. That number essentially it's so big that you can't even fit that amount of electrons in the known universe. So most mathematicians say that anything that is above 1 in 10 to the 50th is pretty much impossible. Anything above 1 in 10 to the 50th is pretty much mathematically impossible. Okay. So, and now from a practical standpoint, right? From a practical standpoint, where have we seen in vitro, in lab, evolution take place? To this day, over the
nowhere.
To this day, in the last 150 years of bacterial science, right? Where you have people studying this stuff, there has not been.
Can I answer that?
Not been a single instance, not one you can point to, showing that
you did no research. You did no research. And all you gotta do is research.
Bacteria has the capability to evolve from one bacteria.
Human beings are evolving right now. Human beings are evolving right now.
You would never ever find that.
But
it's happening now. It's happening now.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Let me read this super chat and then I'm gonna address you everyday about. Shout out to New, man. What's the difference between the Big Bang Theory and Let There Be Light Finger Snap for your triple O Sky Genie? Hey man, that's just it. Nobody knows. I mean, the big difference is, again, you had somebody that was always here, that controls everything, that created something, versus Big Bang, which is a scientific guess. That, again, I just showed you the article in Forbes. I'll post it to you, the link in the chat for you. But again, this theory that people made up to, and this is what you guys don't understand too, man. Listen, whether you like it or not, a lot of these scientific things are to disprove God. Whether you want to admit it to it or not, that's pretty much it.
But it's to disprove God. That's not entirely true.
Well, no. I'm not saying, but
a holographic. So I study a lot of string theory and black hole science, right? So if you look into the theory of a holographic universe, right? So it's mind-boggling, man. All of this is based off of black hole observations, right? And what they discovered is that black holes, right? If you look on the surface of a black hole, which is called like the event horizon, everything that is contained within the black hole is actually contained on its surface. However, if you were to fall into that black hole, you would not only be exposed to that two-dimensional surface of the black hole, but also the three-dimensional inside of it. I know it's kind of fucking mind-blowing, but essentially what this means is that you can have an entire universe, an entire 3D universe that can be represented on a two-dimensional surface. And this ties into string theory. String theory is basically the theory of combining gravitational science along with particle theory, right? So string theory, it basically takes particle theory, which is, talk about electrons and protons and all that stuff, and it actually combines that along with the science of gravity. And with that, you have these strings, right? And the strings are the basic building blocks of the universe to the atomic level, pretty much. And each string vibrates at different frequencies, and these vibrations basically make up the different gravitons. There's different gravitons. I can't remember the name of them right now, but anyway, it's like the gravitons would be synonymous with like protons, electrons, and stuff like that. And the gravitons vibrate different frequencies, and they have different names for the different strings in string theory. But anyway, those strings are able to attach themselves through different two-dimensional planes, right? And this is the theory of the holographic universe. The design of this system in itself points to intelligent design. Now, I don't want to get into metaphysics, man, because it's a heavy topic. It's a heavy topic, bro. But the thing is, the more and more you look into this science, bro, everything's pointing to intelligent design. The very fabric of the universe is pointing to intelligent design.
Bro, true.
Yeah.
Where were you before you were born?
Where was I before I was born?
Yeah.
In my dad's nutsack, most likely.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
there's no spiritual bullshit, no mumbo jumble to that. No God, we was made in God's plan type stuff.
Honestly, listen, DC, check it out, bro. Again, I'm not a Bible thumper, okay? But I do, from my personal experience in my life and from my near-death experiences and my experience with DMT and other psychological drugs. I've come to the understanding that it is more to this universe than this
surface.
And he came to that conclusion using drugs. He came to that conclusion using drugs. Come on, man.
Like I said, it was way more than just me taking fucking DMT, bro.
But DC, actually, like I said, that's also in the Bible as to where certain herbs and certain things was taken in order for people to ascend spiritually on a particular plane and all these other things. That gets into a whole lot deeper shit. But
I used to be a Christian, man.
You gotta let man cave rocket challenge in here. After, let me read this. And it was intelligent design. Do you choke? I'm confused on that one, New. I told you, nigga, stop giving me
what he's saying is we so intelligently designed that even when we eat, we can choke on our food.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
The design was so good. We can choke on our food.
That makes absolutely no sense, bro.
But hold on. My counter.
It makes sense.
Well, no, it doesn't. Wait. And my counter will be this. Listen. For one, you don't just choke on your own. You induce choking. In order for you to choke, you have to eat improperly. You
can choke on your saliva. No. Choke on your saliva and die.
But God's all knowing. He should know that you're going to choke.
No, you can't. You choke on your saliva and die. Show me where.
When you have a stroke.
Look it up for yourself.
No, you wouldn't be
choking. Mr. Fantastic.
Stop. For one, you would not be choking on your saliva. If anything, the theory is you choke on your tongue. That's been.
Have you ever looked it up?
Bro, that's a misconception.
No, that's not a fact.
No, Mr. Fantastic.
It's not a fact.
Mr. Fantastic, I think.
Yes or no?
Mr. Fantastic, I think he's talking about.
Wait. Fasten. Well, this is what I need you to do, Everyday Valet. I provided you with everything you said, brother, to counter it.
No, you didn't. You did not read scientific theory. You didn't read it.
Everyday Valet, hold on.
You said you read it, but you didn't read it. Anybody in the chat, just look up scientific theory.
Brother, I've literally told you the counter of everything you said. I provided.
Can you pull up scientific theory on your screen?
No problem.
Scientific theory.
Bro, you still gonna be wrong again. But
I'm
anyway,
just saying.
The thing is, man.
In the meantime, between time, hold on, we got to get Man Cave Vlogging Channel in here. Go ahead, brother. It's on you.
I just want to say shout out to the panel. You know, me and Spiritual Logic. You know, that's my brother right there. Shout out to him. I definitely like all the arguments that's presented. I just think one thing that is missing is the fact that science itself has proven some truth to the Bible, because there are ancient Babylonian artifacts that the government does have. There are proof of ancient Egypt, which the government also does have. The CIA has proven that, which is also shadow government as well. The CIA has also proven that there is a spiritual component to childbirth, because realistically, there's men that are capable of having sex with women, but whatever's up with the woman, she doesn't always get pregnant through every single nut, even though there's 400 million. So there 400 million semen at hand. Every time a man nuts, there's 400 million, and there's one womb. So if you could have sex with a girl repeatedly over and over and over again, and she won't get pregnant. Not all the time, obviously. You get what I'm saying? As far as science, a lot of it is theories. Theories are a group of collective beliefs. You understand? So even in science, there's a belief system to it, because a lot of things in science are actually theories. The Big Bang Theory is Big Bang, and then what's the definition of theory? A group of accepted beliefs. So even in science, there are beliefs to it. You understand?
Yeah, but I understand that. But what science does what science does that religion doesn't is it tries to prove something as fact. It doesn't consider something fact until it gets it like everything proven that it is. But religion
scientific method is not theory.
Religion claims that things are fact just because it says so.
So
I mean, you can look up the definition of theory. If I say Big Bang Theory, I'm saying in a group of accepted beliefs pertaining to the Big Bang. You know?
Yeah, but they're not considering that
you think
it's a belief based on facts is the only thing.
Accepted beliefs.
It's a belief based on facts.
It's not Big Bang Theory.
Wait, yeah, hold on, brother. I did what you asked me to. I brought it up right here.
That's scientific method. I said theory.
My bad. Okay,
come on, bro.
Okay, brother. It's nothing but a word. Here we go.
I'm just saying, y'all been trolling me, yo.
I'm not trolling anything. Here you go. Look, brother. I'm gonna bring it up for you right here.
Everybody read it. It says testable. It's been tested.
Hold on. Wait. A coherent group of propositions formulated. Do you know what a proposition is, sir?
Continue on.
A group of facts or phenomenon in the natural world repeatedly confirmed through experiment or observation.
So again, it says it's confirmed. It says it's confirmed.
No, again,
it's
confirmed
been tested and confirmed. A proposition can be anything.
Okay, exactly, you're proving my point.
He's
just like no,
he's
pulling
the straw man out. He's trying to strain, yeah.
Yeah,
no, you're looking at it. It says tested and confirmed. That's what a theory is. Y'all use the word wrong. You really made hypothesis. When you're guessing, that's hypothesis.
And again, my question would be to you, so how has there been scientific theories that have changed their theory?
If it's a fact.
Because it's more to it than that. Hold on, it's more to it than the theory than just one
it's
line.
A fact. It's a fact that man has a penis. It's a fact that man has a penis.
Why are you still talking, man? You're not even saying anything.
No. You're trolling now. You're trolling now.
You're just trolling. Let me
You're
explain.
trolling.
Let me explain.
Oh,
come on, man.
Go ahead.
Yo,
Go ahead.
can I speak after Everyday Valley?
You got to make
the theory of gravity. The theory of gravity just doesn't have that in it. It has more stuff to it. So it's stuff inside that theory that changes. The theory never changes. The theory never changes.
The theory does change. You're wrong.
What theory have you seen change? Name one theory you've seen change.
Bro, there's plenty of theories that change. You know why?
Name one.
Gravity itself.
Yeah. What do you mean? Explain that to me.
Well, you explain.
Yeah, you explain because you don't believe what.
I got you. No further questions.
Wait. Everyday Valet, brother. All due respect. This is what I'm gonna say to you now. I've given any and everything, bro, to counter you. You've not done anything to counter us other than say this and then tell me. You got the burden of proof on me, bro. I'm showing you what's said and I'm giving you something. So I'm gonna need you to do some leg work, not just say I haven't studied it, not just say I haven't researched it. That's your only reply. That's your only reply.
Oh, go read it. It's out there. It's out there.
So in other words,
it's out there. Fantastic. Go get it.
In other words,
I won't tell you though.
I did win the argument on scientific theory, right?
So he's looking to win an argument. That's what he is.
I don't know. Y'all arguing over
all I was saying was y'all using the word wrong. You're using the word wrong. Okay, when you say theory, the theory has facts in it.
All a theory is this: a theory gives you the motherfucking the ability to forever change and add to something you already believe or change it after the fact.
That's not true. That's not true. Can you name one theory that's changed?
I just told you. Hold on, wait.
The theory of gravity is not even concrete, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Wait, does gravity not exist?
Everyday Valet, be quiet. DNA theory has changed, brother.
How?
What do you mean how?
Let me explain this to him, man. Like,
let
genetic mutations.
A theory doesn't change.
It's changed because you don't have the understanding and literally the science does not exist at certain times. Brother, hold on, wait.
There are items inside the theory that change. The theory doesn't change.
You just want to be,
bro.
So, just want to be contrary.
At one point, doctors start like putting leashes on people would literally suck out the fucking disease, dude.
Right, bro.
And that changed with germs.
Theory.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? You're basically saying that every scientific fucking theory that came about it still stands to this day.
Name one that hasn't.
From a scientific.
I'll wait.
We just named two.
No, you didn't.
You did.
He just wants to be contrary. That's all. That's all he wants to do. He just want to say no.
I don't want to argue about a definition.
Yeah, he just wants to be contrary. I know this kind of argument. He just wants to everything we fantastic or anyone say. He's just gonna say no, you're wrong. No, that's how he's gonna be doing all day. That's how he's gonna
be. Everyday Valet. And shout out to Brother Hulk, man. I showed you the one for the Big Bang Theory, bro. Big Bang Theory is scientific theory. It has theory.
Even what you showed me didn't say it didn't happen. It said it wasn't the beginning. No,
wow.
Bring it back up and let's read it again. Bring it back up. It never said it.
So he wasn't paying attention, huh? He wasn't paying attention. That's what I say. He just wants to be contrary. That's all he wants to do.
Real quick.
I just want to say something. Oh, sorry.
Mr. That's a great show. Much respect. Greatly appreciate you, brother, for your $10 donation. Again, here's the thing that I put there, bro, and I'm gonna bring it back up on the screen for you to see again, bro.
And read it to us.
You read it.
It's right there. The Big Bang wasn't the beginning. After all, it never said it didn't exist. It never said it didn't happen.
Wait. So what's the theory of the Big Bang, brother, as it was explained to us? That the Big Bang...
You tell us.
I'm not that knowledgeable about it.
What?
So get this, man. One thing that we're missing here is that from a scientific method, right? It basically states that if you can basically prove something, right, in vitro, in lab, it should be something that you can replicate, right? From a scientific perspective, you should be able to replicate something in lab to say, okay, yeah, this is what occurred. So from a Darwinistic perspective, right, their whole thing is that this is before when Darwin came out with his theory, the science of genetics was not there yet, right? He didn't know anything about genetics. So what happened when genetics came on the scene? You had a lot of Darwinists say, well, you know, it basically all of the in-between intermediate species that evolved, because there's no record of them. There's absolutely no record of any intermediate species, you know, from a single cell organism to a freaking jellyfish. There's nothing in between. You can't find it. There's no fossil records for them. Okay. They basically said because they all went extinct. That's why you can't find them. Okay. And get this, there's never been a genetic mutation. There's never been a genetic mutation that has added an advanced function to any organism. Most genetic mutations, say for humans, they cause disease like fibrosis, cancers, sickle cell anemia. These are all genetic mutations, Down syndromes, hemophilia, and about like 4,000 other mutations that occur in the human genome. None of them provide an advanced function, us getting fucking gills or anything like that. You'll never find this in nature.
And bro, true. All you did was name negative things. What about the things that we did? Bro, that we did gain?
There's nothing. We've never gained a function. Bro. Look, this shit. I studied this, bro. You're pulling this out your ass, but I actually do the scientific studies. Bro, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Yeah, you basically you're denying just for the sake of denying, without doing any research.
You're not giving any research or any counters.
I just want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
So basically, archaeology is a form of science. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of archaeologists, they are discovering ancient civilizations that have exist. You understand? So the places in the Bible, such as ancient Babylon, did exist. You understand? So there's proof through science that the Bible does exist. Hold up. I just want to say this. I'm gonna let you know you speak, because I'm not gonna be long-winded. So there's proof that ancient civilizations such as ancient Babylon did indeed exist. There are proof because there's archaeologists and they still are discovering artifacts of this. There's 2 rivers today that validated: the Tigris and the Euphrates River. They have also those rivers have been around. Those rivers have been around for thousands of years.
Hey, but your man
of their existence today. You can go to Iraq yourself and visit both rivers. You understand?
You're arguing something that we all know. There are things in the Bible that exist. No, I'm not saying that everything in the Bible is false or not true. It's events in the Bible that happen that we can prove, but that doesn't mean everything in it, like talking snakes and all that stuff, happened.
But but can you prove? Can you disprove it though? You can't.
I just want to say this.
You can't prove something that happened when we were here. That's why I'm trying to raise the point.
Hold on, everyday brother. Hold on. Let me do a couple of things for you. First off, Darwin's evolution was a what? A theory, right?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Yeah, now I believe so. It was okay, and it's been disproven. Secondly,
Darwin theory? I never heard of that before. I don't know about that.
I didn't interrupt you. You gotta let me get my shit off. I'll let you get your whole thought out, bro. Let me get my shit off. Listen, Darwinism was a theory that's been disproven, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Disproven. Scientists say it is all bullshit. Okay, scientists of this day. Bro Truth gave you all of the data and the information behind it to support the point of Darwinism being a theory. Again,
So what about his theory was disproven?
Hold on.
What part was disproven in his theory?
Bro, it's you can Google it.
I can
It's
run,
No,
I can
I'm
run through it
asking
again
you.
if you want
I'm
me to.
asking you. I'm
No, I
asking
can,
you.
I know, I
because
can,
you
I
said
can,
it
I
was
can run through it
disproven.
again. I can run through it again if you need a refresher.
Hold on, every day. This is my problem, brother. Listen, this is not how debate or what's name supposed to go. I'm not supposed to have to be the only person that has the burden of proof to prove shit, bro. All you doing is
Well,
telling
you asking me to prove stuff all day.
you're not giving no information.
Mr. Fantastic. He
Wait.
literally said,
Yeah,
Mr. Fantastic.
I only asked you to prove it because I know it's not true what you're saying.
You're not bringing up anything to show that it's not true. You're not giving one source.
How can I bring up something that's not true?
Mr. Fantastic.
I'm just saying,
Mr.
now it's not an
Fantastic.
argument, bro. This is supposed
Mr.
to be a debate. Usually there's two sides of a debate. You saying no is not an argument.
But anyway, hold on real quick. Shout out to New that crocodiles have changed. A lot of things have changed.
No, they haven't.
Yes, it have. Stop. Why? They have. Yes, they have. See, again. Hold on. Hold up. I'm going to show you, brother. This is motherfucking 4th grade science or middle school. Why have they changed? Yes, along with dragonflies due to the oxygen content of the atmosphere that was due during those times. Theoretically, everything was a lot.
They got smaller.
Stop. Everything was a lot larger back in the prehistoric times due to the atmosphere was there at the time.
The oxygen content and everything was larger. Okay, it had direct correlation. It had direct correlation to the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
Thank you.
And I just want to say this. I just want to say this. If there's places in the scriptures that has been proven, that has archaeological wise been proven, then there's truth to it. There's truth.
Yeah, now nobody's arguing there's not truth to it.
I just want to say this. Please just let me just say this. There's been proven. Another thing, there's been animals, according to science, like there's this fish that begins with a C. I forgot how to pronounce it. They thought it was extinct until they found it in 1938. There's a fish out there. You can Google. I don't know how to spell the name. It's spelled differently. But there is a fish out there that was technically considered extinct and it's been proven to exist. Another thing, in ancient Babylonian artifacts, what people don't understand is lions weren't just animals that was in Africa and India. They were spread out. The last Uranian lion was extinct in 51 or something around that period of time. So with that being said, there's no hypothetical proof that you can find lions out in the desert, but yet lions existed in Iraq and Iran 70, 80 years ago.
Yeah.
You understand?
Just like the Sahara Desert, right? It's a desert now, but does that refute that it was once a vegetation thousands of years ago? No. So you can't really say that area it's always been like that because it changed.
Yes,
you know?
and I just want to add on to the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert at one time was a part of the Fertile Crescent. It was an extension of it. I won't say it was technically a part of it because that's a huge area of land. But even ecosystems do change. The Grand Canyon has been proven to be a place that was populated with a lot of water.
Yeah.
I did need to say this. Everything got smaller.
Other cultures
everything used to be bigger, but as far as the form of a crocodile, it never changed.
Other cultures also have their flood story, and they don't read the Bible.
Yeah, like the Gilgamesh.
They also don't know
Gilgamesh.
They don't read the Bible. If you read them the Bible, they won't know what you're talking about. But they all have a flood story. So collectively, right? If you have people from all corners of the world that have no relation to each other, yet everyone somehow has a flood story, there must be something consistent. Whether the flood was a gigantic thing that covered the earth or was it regional, there is something consistent.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing if it's regional compared to the world. That's a huge difference.
But the question is,
flood
okay,
has-
how can you prove?
And a flood, and the thing is,
Yes.
people believe that one meteor eliminated animals that were 20 times our size. There's volcanoes all over the world. I hope you guys understand this. There's volcanoes all over the world.
It actually did. It put up a gas plume that covered the sun for hundreds
But
of
it's
years.
a theory, though. It's a theory.
Can I say something?
It's not a
Can I say
fact. It's a
something?
theory.
Yo, y'all can hear me?
Hold on,
And
real
the
quick.
flood, and I just want to say this real quick. I just want to say this, and this is the last thing I have to say for the time being. A flood doesn't always have to be water. It could be fire too. It can rain fire.
No, I don't know why you're saying that. The Bible says water.
Yeah, not on this planet.
If you look up Pompeii, it was raining ash, sulfur, and fire. It don't have to be just water.
Came from a volcano.
No, this has been proven. Pompeii is a historical landmark. It's been proven.
Man.
It don't have to rain just water.
Hold on, I gotta get my man Astro here. I gotta get my man Astro here.
Lava can flood, and that's all I have to say for the time being.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. All right, go ahead, Astro. It's on you, bro.
Yo, bro, can you hear me?
Yeah. You chirped out.
I think
I just want to chime in
got
on
Obama
this in
phone.
regards to the size of animals between now and the prehistoric age. There's actually a phenomenon known as island dwarfism, right? That can be actually observed to this day, where if you have a smaller ecosystem, right, and there's no escape to like the periodic droughts and the environment, then you have smaller animals, smaller humans that develop, right? And it basically comes down to the environment that they live in, and that the exact same thing occurs in the spectrum when you're on the mainland. You have animals that are free to move in a better ecosystem. The size of the animals are able to escalate because of the competition, because of the amount of land that they have to cover, the bone structure, the metabolic rate, the armor, the speed, the teeth, the claws, everything is actually growing faster. The escalation in size is basically directly proportional to the environment of that organism. Now, if you look at the prehistoric times, you look at the ice core records, if you look at what they're able to dig up, the oxygen in the atmosphere in those times were astronomically higher than they are today. Okay, and you have an oxygen-rich environment, you are going to have animals growing in that environment at a higher rate, at a bigger rate than we do now. Everything is environmentally based, and again, you can see that in a phenomenon called island dwarfism.
To the brother who's talking about that, right now, you speaking on it from a scientific point of view. This is how the Bible explains about what they call dynasty and all that stuff. The Bible talks about the gods came down, they gave mankind technology, and they began to splice and mix different species, basically doing an experiment. So according to the Bible, it talks about these entities that came on earth. They brought forbidden knowledge. They taught witchcraft using herbs because they knew the materials that made the earth. So what they knew is they knew how to manipulate. So according to the Bible, these beings were created to feed their children because their children were growing out of proportion. And the Bible mentions that at one point they were not satisfied with what they were eating, so they began to eat mankind. That's why the Bible mentioned that the Creator, because he wanted to protect mankind, he sent the spirits amongst those kind of called giants and Nephilims and gods. So, but in mythology, right, in Greek mythology and other religion, they call it the clash of the titans. But the Bible talks about it as the children of the Nephilim killing each other. Now, is there a coincidence that the Bible is talking about something that's mentioned also in quote-unquote legend? Because there's a saying, truth is stranger than fiction. A lot of things they've told us is quote unquote fiction. Now science is proving it. Back in the day, what did they say? If you took a plane back in like the 1700s, they call it witchcraft. They call, oh my God, what the hell is this? But guess what? We are flying. We can go in on a plane. So the question is, what if some things that we learn in legends or in the Bible existed, but to their understanding, they call it magic?
That's why. It's not real.
A plane is real. What are you talking about?
No, it's not real. You talking about giants and all that, eating people and all that.
What's this? In the 1700s, you try to explain somebody a plane and they call you what?
From a
It's
theological
imaginary.
perspective, man, all of that is subjective, man. Straight up, you know. I mean,
I just want to say
it's only like that. It's only subjective because there's no proof to it. That's why. If we could prove giants came down and ate us, then we wouldn't be here.
I just want to say this: the story of Dracula. Dracula was now obviously because of the movies, they make it seem like it's this white guy that attacks, people in the middle of the night and drinks their blood. But there was a guy named Dracula something in Europe that was
Dracula. Vlad the Impaler was
it's based on him, Vlad the Impaler, yeah.
Based off of, yeah, because he basically was. Go ahead, bro.
Through time, information does change, but there is some truth to it. Like I was using an example with the flood. The flood don't have to be just water; it could be fire too. Lava can flood.
Why you keep saying that, man?
Flooding. There's volcanic examples of lava flooding entire towns. It don't have to be that high. If I'm 60 feet tall, if I'm 60 feet tall, right? And lava, if like it's 10 foot high, I'm burning to death. Regardless, I'm burning to death, and everything will die. No organism can survive lava. Realistically, no organism can survive lava.
Yes, it is.
Can I ask you a question?
Nematodes can survive lava.
And actually, there is an organism that can.
Don't do me like that, Mr. Fantastic.
But can I ask you a question real quick on Miss Man Cave Vlogging channel?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you believe babies are evil?
Do I believe babies are evil?
Yeah.
I don't. Me personally, I don't think babies are born good or evil.
Okay, so the flood happened because God said everyone on the planet was evil. All right, so he had to cleanse the earth of the evil people. Now, pregnant women were murdered. Pregnant kids were murdered. All right, yes, they were flooded, and this is what you guys believe. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Hold on, bro. Very simple. Again, I told you guys are trying to
they still didn't get it right. God still didn't get it right. He made us, and he didn't get it right. He flooded the world, killed everybody, still didn't get it right. Jesus down, still didn't get it right.
Brother. Again, I read the entire scripture that Astro posted, the beginning and after of the scripture, brother. Again, God fucking said there was so much evil, and a major part of it was that the fallen angels were coming down and laying with the women and creating.
So why didn't he just destroy the angels? Why go through the shenanigans?
Do you read the Bible? You asking questions. It's showing you don't read.
Hold on, hey, hold on, everybody. Chill. We got Astro in the building. What's up, Astro? Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, what's good, bro?
You got it, man. Go ahead.
All right, yo. So let's get to this Genesis chapter 6, verse 6, man, because y'all playing around right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so what did it say? It says, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart. The Lord was sorry that he made man on earth, and it was grieved in his heart. I think I'm saying that right. So let's look at the definition, right? Repent means sorry, mistake, and remorse. Am I right?
It means wait. Hold. That's the human interpretation of it. So by the human interpretation, the English translation, yes, that's what it means.
Yeah.
All we have is human interpretation of everything.
And Mr. Fantastic.
Hold on, wait. Let him rock. Go ahead, Astro. It's on you. Go ahead, Astro.
Yeah. So you can't use that, because that's the case. Then why we read the Bible? Am I right?
Say again.
I said if we're gonna use that, then we shouldn't be reading the Bible. Then basically, am I right?
Well, no, you talking about the English translation?
Yeah. And we read the Bible
No.
in English.
Yeah, it's translated to English from original Hebrew.
All right. So if we're gonna use that term, that means God made a mistake, right?
No.
God never made a mistake
Hey,
by
Mr.
flipping out
Fantastic.
3 times.
Mr. Fantastic, I can explain that. I can explain that, like, because I know why he's asking
he
that.
repented. That means he made a mistake. Even the
Yeah.
definition wise. Come on now, you can't.
Hold on. So hold on. Let me go back. So the thing about words is this, bro. This is the thing about words. You have to seriously, because like I said, words, you have to find the original meaning of words, and words can have additions added on to it before. Repent means to pray for forgiveness, or not necessarily regret or whatnot, what have you, bro. Okay. And again, if God saw something that he had made, or something had defiled God, disobeyed God, and caused something else to happen, it tells you. That's why I read the whole verse to you, brother. It tells you, if you read the whole verse, he gives you the whole entire.
Listen. The verse could say that people were so wrong, so evil, so nasty, whatever it says. At the end of the day, God repented. A mistake is a mistake.
That's not
But Mr. Fantastic, watch this.
Wait, hold on.
Not only that, the flood was supposed to clean up his mistake, and it didn't do that.
But hold on.
We talking about God, though. We're not talking about that else, though.
Again, Astro, like I explained to you earlier, brother. Like I said, that still gets erased because he still had someone. God had created something that fixed the issue or the feeling of regret that he had. Regret isn't a mistake, brother. Regret doesn't necessarily mean a mistake. It's a lot of things you can regret, but just because you regret something, does that mean it's a mistake? Let me give you a simple scenario, right?
For you, bro.
Hold on. Let me give you. It's very easy. If you let me do it, I got you. Listen. So let's say you got kids. You don't got kids. Do you have kids?
No.
All right, cool. You don't have kids, right? And you're a young fella, right? You in your 20s?
Yeah, 26.
20. All right, great. So you're in 20. So let's say tomorrow you knock up a chick and you get her pregnant, right? Knock on wood. But let's say you do that, right? It may be something that you regret, but is it a mistake necessarily because you regret it just because if you get a child out of the situation that you love, and you dearly care for, and you care about?
Yeah, but you can't do that though, bro. Like the meaning of self-defense.
Wait, why can't I? Wait. I'm using your premise again. I told you, it's a lot easier than you think it's gonna be. But listen to what I'm telling you now. Again, just because you regret something doesn't mean that it's a mistake. And the better part about it is, it's a part of the design that we can never understand because we're human. Listen, brother. When I'm everyday balance, brother. I can need you. You got you Star Warsing it up, bro. Let me help you out. So listen, what I'm telling you. And the reason why I use that, bro, is because me personally, that's a part of my life story. Hold on. I regretted getting my baby moms pregnant, but my children definitely aren't a mistake. You see what I'm saying?
So it's still a mistake, bro. Like, all right. So if I cheat on my girl, like, right? If I cheat on my girl and I tell her, yo, I'm sorry, I regret what I did. That's a mistake. There's no way around it. It's a mistake.
That's not. Hold on. Again, I can disprove that too, brother. Wait. That's not a mistake. That's a choice, brother. That's a choice.
It's still a mistake.
No. See, no. Mistake is something that you know what I'm saying, you didn't mean to do, and it happened.
Exactly.
And you didn't mean for it to happen.
There you
but
go.
You made the choice. You made the choice to go stick your dick in that bitch that ain't your girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I elaborate what you said, Mr. Fantastic?
Can I elaborate? That you regret later on. That's all it means.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Regret does not equal mistake, though, brother. That's what I'm trying to do.
I can prove that it does.
Bro, the definition.
I can prove that it does. Because would you do it again?
Let me elaborate. Let me elaborate. I haven't said anything in a while. Let me elaborate on what's being said. You know, Mr. Fantastic, he's exactly right, because it's talking about the nature. Like when you brought up babies, you got to remember that. Okay, when man sinned against his creator, sin became our nature. Now, although children have no knowledge of the sin they have, the nature of them is still in them, because children are not born serving the perfect law of God. They're born like everybody else, serving themselves. Like like the scenario Mr. Fantastic said about when somebody cheats on their girl, you did that intentionally. That was your choice. It showed the evil intent in your heart. That was your nature. You didn't make a mistake. A mistake is I tripped over a tree stump I didn't see.
Yeah.
You knew exactly.
So
you
you
didn't
trying
trip
to
and
say,
fall in no. Hold on. You didn't trip and accidentally fall into a woman that you didn't plan to get into. That was intentional. Your heart was set on doing that. That was your goal. Now you might be mad because of the consequences, but that doesn't change the intent of your heart was to do wrong. So your nature itself was corrupted. It wasn't like we consider error because we get caught and we have consequences. That just shows you our nature. And
I
you gotta
disagree.
understand that means that every child that will be born with that nature is going to be controlled with that nature unless they come into unless God finds a way to help us overcome our nature. And that's what okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish. No, go ahead.
Now I was going to say, and that's what the story of the Bible evolves into is basically the redemption of man coming out of his nature. And see, for that to happen, God had to come near to us and bring his spirit back to us. Remember, it says his spirit won't always. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Remember, the Bible says his spirit won't always strive with man. And if you understand the story of the New Testament, what did Jesus bring to us in his death and resurrection? His spirit. It was a redemption. Now men have not only are not lost in their nature, but when they come to know the truth of everything, they can actually have the choice again to once serve their creator in truth rather than being subject to their nature without having the option to come out of it. Like when man only knew evil, that's all he did. Now we might want to be self-righteous and lie about our intentions, but that's all we did. Now you may not. Now a lot of atheists don't understand the powerful transformation of true conversion. When you understand that your nature is so deep. Let me give you an example. People can't understand how I could be one way, and love what I'm doing, have a revelation about myself in relationship to my creator, and now I no longer have the same love and desire to do the things I used to do. I've been changed just by the information and the revelation that I've had. It's changed my life. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. It just means that my affections have been rewired. The things that I used to love to do that were evil, I now feel shame. And now I have more peace and joy doing the things that are more congruent with God's nature. So now my life improves. I've overcome. Like when you're blind, when somebody's blind, you can't give them direction because they can't see. But when you open their eyes, now they have the ability to see for themselves where they were blind. They couldn't. No matter what you said to them, it didn't. A blind man giving a blind man directions doesn't help him. But when you give him eyes to see, now he can understand your directions, and that's the transformation that happens in the biblically. Now a lot of people don't understand that because they don't believe that exists, and that's cool. You don't have to believe it, but you can continue to struggle with your nature, keep messing with hoes and messing with your nature, and come into the consequences and keep blaming everybody else but yourself. Or you can come to the understanding that we're all subject to an evil nature. God made a sacrifice for us to come out of that nature so that we can stop destroying ourselves and just acting like the consequences of disobeying his standard.
Hey, who made the nature?
Let me hold
on, bro. The nature is part of the choice that you have to disobey. You can be perfect and still disobey a perfect law. I don't understand why you don't get that. That's what life is.
What's so perfect about the law?
Because it works. Let me ask you a question. Hold on, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. If you ignore common sense, are you going to have consequences?
It depends on the situation.
If you see a cliff and you run off of it, hold on. I'm gonna give you an example. If you see a cliff and you know what happens when you run off a cliff and you did it anyway because you don't believe in common sense, you're gonna have a bad consequence, right?
Yes, in your scenario, yes.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what God's law is congruent with common sense and logic because He created the world and we're designed. Hold on, sir. I listened to you talk for like an hour. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Now, because you ain't said nothing, and all the talk and mumbo jumbo, all you had to say is, "I don't believe in God." Let's talk about God, but I don't believe in God. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't mean. How you gonna sit? Hold on. How you gonna sit there and say you want to talk about God and then say I don't believe in God? You don't make sense.
Because
No
I
sense
was
at
a
all.
Christian for
Yeah,
20
can I
some
say one
years,
more thing?
so I know the mumbo jumbo that you talking.
Then why are you here? Then why
Yeah.
are you here? You could go on the atheist panel and talk about
And
believing in
I'm there
nothing all day
too, and I
long.
wish y'all would go there and they'll rip your ass
No,
off.
but we don't
Nah,
need to. I'm
you
happy.
can't
We
go.
happy in our life. We have purpose and direction. We're not just going to fade away when we die.
Where's your
Have
God?
fun with, huh?
Where is your God? Where is he?
He's
What you mean?
everywhere.
Where is he's a spirit, sir?
A spirit?
Where's your soul? Let me ask you a question. Where's your soul? Where's your soul?
I thought you said
Where's your
soul.
soul?
I don't believe in
Hold
the
on,
soul.
I
We don't have
got
soul.
one more thing. I got one more thing. It says,
If you don't believe in the soul,
The thing is, man,
Listen,
when you
listen,
asking a
Isaiah
human,
45
when you
chapter
asking a
7.
human, bro, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
When
Go
you
ahead,
ask,
bro.
when you
You can ask
answer,
what we're coming
when you answer a human, anything about the divine, you know, you, it's like asking a fucking amoeba, can you do calculus? You know, it's like straight up, like it's just, let's be real about it. You can't sit here and be like, oh, well, where's God? Where's God? Like that's just about the dumbest question you can even ask
How is that
anybody.
dumb?
Because everyone is.
No, it's
This thing
not.
is real
You've
talk.
never
Check
seen
it out.
God.
Show me
Y'all don't know
God.
anything
Let me
about
finish.
no
Let me
God.
talk, bro. Can I
You don't
talk,
know
man?
anything
No
about
one's
no
no one interrupted you when you were talking.
Yes, you
Can we
did.
have a civil discussion, bro? That's all I'm asking. So I just want to go back to that statement, the verse, okay? So the Bible consistently uses human terms to describe a non-human God. So for instance, so our arms and body parts, right? Our eyes that do most of our, you know, picking up and seeing shit. You know, we describe God's hands in the Bible. Now, is it actually talking about a hand that God has? No, it's anthropomorphized.
Hey, bro,
Okay,
too.
How do
I'm
you
gonna
know
stop you right
that?
there.
it's
How do you know that?
anthropomorphized
I'm gonna
because,
stop you.
bro, this so
Didn't God
if you
impregnate
interpret,
Mary?
No, Joseph is the
bro,
father of Mary. What are you talking
bro.
I
about?
mean,
I mean,
no,
whatever.
Yo, can I
So
just ask
basically,
you a
Joseph was the
question
we
husband.
before y'all go crazy and stuff?
we're talking that God basically had Mary, you know, on all fours, and he was hitting it from the back. That's what you said.
No, no,
I'm just saying, man. Like, let's be serious here, bro.
Joseph
Like,
is the father.
I'm not.
We're
Listen, like,
talking,
I'm
you're
not
the
a
one talking
Bible
about
thumper.
spirit.
I'm not a Bible thumper, bro. And I don't think that the Bible in certain cases like 100% literal, bro. That's just my perspective. Now, faith is very much subjective.
And you can't
Absolutely.
believe the Bible and believe that too, because it says it's literal. The Bible says it's literal.
No, it doesn't.
no,
Yes,
it doesn't.
it
Man.
does.
Y'all literally
Yes, it
believe in
Okay,
the
does.
flood.
chapter and verse.
Give me
Chapter and
that.
verse.
Chapter and verse. Chapter and verse.
I got you. I'm gonna look it up.
Bro.
All right, chapter and verse. But hey, we got go ahead to Astro. Astro, what you had, brother? Go ahead.
You won't find it.
I know you won't.
So Mr. Fantastic, do you think the LGBT stuff you think is evil?
As per the Bible, yeah.
All right, so in Isaiah 45, verse 7, it says, I form the light, create the darkness, I make the peace, create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Yeah.
So how can we worship the Lord if he do all these things? I'm confused.
Well, no, I told you. Listen, I said that before you even said it. I don't know if you heard it. I thought you was here but God said he creates
I
everything.
probably was trying to connect or something, bro.
Okay, well, yeah, he creates the good and the bad. Everybody thinks God is just a God tells you, man, it's a time for war, it's a time for peace. God is everything. Again, we're trying to limit God. God, omniscient, omnipresent means everything. Everything was created by him. Good, bad, indifferent, all these things. So I mean,
why are we so mad at the devil for that? I'm confused.
Hold on. A perfect example is that the shadows are proven by the sunshine. You can't have a shadow without sunshine.
There you go.
I get it.
Good
Why we so mad at
God,
the devil?
hold on. God created the logic of how things work. So when you have sunshine, you inevitably have a shadow. You don't sit there and see sun and be like, why that shadow there? It's just part of the
So doesn't
design.
that mean the devil's on God's team then? If
No, hold on. Satan, just like us, was created perfect beings, and we have the choice to disobey a perfect law.
We didn't have the choice. No, we didn't. We didn't have the choice because he's all
Chapter and
knowing.
verse. Chapter and verse.
God is all knowing. Claimed by y'all. He's all
I told
knowing.
you. Let me prove to you that you're wrong. I told you the example of a baby crawling against the table. A baby crawling off across the table, in a matter of perspective, doesn't realize that they're going to fall off the table. But the adult watching the baby crawl across the table can see the end result while the kid can still have free will. The adult watching in a broader perspective can see exactly where this is going. So God is outside. Hold on. God is transcendent. If somebody built a computer, they don't have to be in the computer to build it.
Having two choices is not free will, and I couldn't find the literal scripture.
Free will is having a choice, sir. If you wasn't making your choices, hold on.
Drink piss. What if I don't do? What if I don't want to do neither?
Then die.
What if I don't want to die or go to hell?
Your choice is die. You realize you have a choice to live or you die.
That's not a choice. That's not a choice.
So when
that sounds stupid, yo.
You sound stupid. You sound stupid because you're admitting that you never made a choice. Hold on, sir. No, you sound like please be quiet. You sound like somebody crazy, man. Just listen.
No,
because you want answers. You want answers, sir. You on this panel. Hold on. Wait. Be quiet. Be quiet. You're on this panel because you want answers. You on here because you want answers. Well, then get out. Then get off.
Why would you tell me that?
Because if you don't want, then why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
Because I want to be here. I'm a grown-ass man.
Because everybody else is having a conversation like a normal person.
You're just preaching. You're not giving no facts.
All you do is ad hominems and name calling. All you doing is you're not producing any logical evidence for you.
God, for whatever reason, are the most adamant against him, like straight up. Like anyone that's been a Christian for 25 years, for whatever reason, you decided that God is no longer.
It's not real. Because it's not fucking real.
It's not real to you, sir. Nobody's mad. Nobody's mad. That's fine. You don't believe in God. We're happy.
Adamant atheists were Christians for a long, long time. Okay, and for whatever reason, whether you feel betrayed or something happened in your life, you are now on a crusade to basically strict God from everything in your path. Okay, that's what it is,
bro. We're comfortable, bro. We're comfortable with you believing in nothing. We're comfortable. We're comfortable.
You cannot prove anything you just said.
Listen, we're comfortable. Listen, you're not even listening. You're not even listening. We're comfortable with you not believing in God, sir. Nobody's mad at you. We're comfortable. You can believe in whatever.
Y'all go around house to house knocking, trying to get people to believe in God.
That's not biblical. That's not. We don't do that.
Around in parties and trying to get
those are Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses don't even use the Bible.
No, I got stopped by a Christian in a
whole other religion, bro. That's a whole
you don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all making up stuff.
Christians don't go around knocking on doors.
I'm talking about
spirits. Give me the chapter and verse.
Yeah, hold on, wait.
You don't know anything about no spirit. You ain't never seen no spirit.
Real quick. Hold on. Shout out to Matt Blade out for the $2. What are the negatives moving to God? We'll get to that question in a second. But brother, you have yet to give us a chapter and verse where it said the Bible was literal. We still waiting on that, bro.
I said I couldn't find it.
Oh, we know you can't find it because it's not there. It doesn't exist.
I'll continue to look for it, and
you will be forever looking because it does not exist.
Man made it, so it don't really matter. It don't really matter, man.
Now you trolling, bro. Listen, hold on. Now you trolling, man. Now you trolling.
He just. Bro, Truth was right. Bro, Truth was right. You can't be comfortable. Bro, Truth is right. You can't be comfortable that somebody else has hope and that somebody else believes in something you don't believe in, and it bothers you. It bothers you because you don't believe in anything.
Something happened in your life that profoundly changed your religion. Something happened in your life that your core, and because of that, you are
Can I answer the super chat?
You're on a blind crusade against Christianity and
God. Can I answer the super chat's question? Can I answer the super chat's question?
I respect the atheists that just comfortable and believing in nothing.
Hold on. I would rather live in a world where people believe more true things than things that are not true. Because the thing about it is, when people believe stuff, they make decisions from it, and it affects society.
Bro, you live in a world where people kill, steal, and destroy.
I literally just broke down the scientific evidence that Darwinism is fake. It's been debunked. I literally broke down that the universe itself.
I didn't become an atheist because of Darwinism.
If you look at metaphysics, okay, which I do study metaphysics on the weekends, my nigga. Okay, I study physics. I studied the cutting edge of physics, what they're doing in CERN. Okay,
they have basically come down to a conclusion that the universe has been intelligently designed.
No, that is not true.
Yes,
That
it
is
is.
not true.
Bro,
That's
you know
very
what
false.
you're talking about. You've never read any
That is
scientific
very
studies.
false.
You've never fucking read a white paper in your life. And you sit here
Evidently,
talking about that's not
I
true.
looked at
I've
more than
looked
you
at,
do.
I've done the research. Okay,
What,
this is what I
what's
do
not
for
being
fun.
said,
He got it.
You've done
what's
nothing.
not being
You
said on
basically
this
have
panel.
nothing
gotta
but
be
an
joking.
argument that's based on absolutely nothing. Your argument is based on quicksand, sir. You have
Yeah, he's
nothing.
trying. He's just trying to
You have
frustrate us,
nothing
man.
but
He's trying to frustrate people.
Can I
He's
answer?
trying to
I just want to say this.
Oh, that's not true.
I just
If your God was real, why
Where's
didn't
the
he just show
proof that it's
itself?
not true?
Why does God
Please
not just
provide
say
me with-
something if he's real?
provide me
And
with-
solve this issue now.
I just
come on
want
the live stream.
Hold on, Everyday Valet. Hold on. Go ahead, Man Cave. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. What's not being said is even atheism is a belief.
No, it's not. It's a disbelief.
It is a belief
It's a
because you don't
disbelief.
believe that the Most
Hey,
High
nah,
exists.
it's a belief.
It's a belief.
It's a belief.
Point.
That's
Hey,
a
great
belief.
point.
No, it's not
It's a belief.
No, it's
It's
not
still
a
a
belief.
belief. It's contrary
Why are you
to
trying to
every
prove
other
it?
belief there is, but it's still a
Trying to
belief.
prove what?
It's still a
If
belief.
you wasn't trying to prove
No, it's
anything,
not a
sir, you wouldn't be
belief.
here. If you wasn't trying to
It's a
prove anything,
disbelief.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
be here.
To say that God doesn't
Atheism
exist,
is a
that means
disbelief in God.
you believe he exists and you chose not to believe it. Because you can't have
Oh, is that
nothing
what
out
it
of
is?
nothing.
You got the non.
I don't believe in the spaghetti
True.
monster.
Hold on.
True
Wait,
atheism.
wait,
True
wait.
atheism is just hatred and rejection of the
No,
truth.
it's not. No, it's
Hold on.
not.
It's not.
How
Hold
can
on.
I hate something that don't exist?
Hold on. And look, shout out to Roscoe in the chat, man. Just real quick. Roscoe's bringing up a lot of great points, a lot of great arguments. Roscoe, I mean, I know you don't really hop on panels, but if you want to, bro, by all means. Roscoe is definitely helping y'all out. Astro and Roscoe is like the champions right now because Everyday Valet is making y'all look real bad, okay? But this is the thing, Roscoe.
Damn, I thought I was losing.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you are. You lose. You horrible. But listen, Roscoe, hold on. I'm helping you out. I'm
you sabotaging the team.
Shout out to Noob. Shout out to Roscoe again. A lot of people, and shout out to Psycho in the chat. A lot of people to give y'all a lot of fucking help in the chat. Listen, Roscoe brings up a good point. Scientists go out to prove their theories. Religious people try to prove their theories with a book of theories. Well, this is the thing. Hold up. This is the thing about science. Science is all theories. Science is all theoretical. I already covered this. I don't know where you came into the argument again. Wait,
based on testable facts.
No.
It's Christian science.
Again, stop.
I hope people understand.
Yeah.
It's
Hold on.
Christian science.
Listen.
So this
again,
is science.
Hold on, let Mr. Fantastic rock, man. Let
wait. Bro, facts are interchangeable. Again, at one point in time, I used the reference of where science at one point in time, the theory was that was theoretical scientific fact at the time was that the universe revolved around the earth, right? Due to a lack of
that's not a fact. That was never a theory. That is not a fact.
I'm done with you, bro. I'm done at this point, bro. I'm done.
Yeah, of course you would say that.
Can I answer the super chat real quick?
You trolling, man. You trolling, bro.
Yeah. I got one more for y'all, man.
You trolling, man.
Let me answer the super chat.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So it says, what are the negatives in believing God? Oh, there's plenty. Number one, Africans for thousands of years have seen white Jesus as a thing. You know, so when they see another white person come up in their communities and their countries, you know, they see them as a and not really see them like this, but they view them as better than them, as a god. That's why we got stripped from our lands. And so easily for that, because they believe in that mumbo jumbo bullcrap.
Can I destroy the white Jesus? Can I destroy the white Jesus narrative?
Number two.
White Jesus came less than 400 years ago.
Hey, man.
You say 1,000 years, that's false.
Man,
that's a false statement.
You can't make no freaking claims like that, man. Like straight
okay,
up.
100,
It's very rudimentary view of history, man. Like, come on, man. Let's not.
Number two.
Let's not just say, oh, because of white Jesus.
No, can we address point by point? Can we address point by point? Can we address point by point?
The body of Jesus is that? That's all I want to know.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. One point. You made a point, so let's address that one point. First of all, the Bible says, "Do not make any graven images of anything in heaven, on earth, or under the earth." So this whole thing about a picture of what Jesus is or his race or his ethnicity based on there's nothing in the Bible that says Jesus was European. Nothing.
Okay, I never said it.
You said white Jesus. What is your point of saying white Jesus?
Because that's the image that's portrayed around the world.
Okay,
Prove it. Based on what?
Prove it.
Based on what?
I can see it in my head before.
No, I'm talking about biblically. I'm talking about biblically. We're talking about the Bible, sir.
Let me do this. Let me address this. Listen, bro. And I said this is what I said to Roscoe. Roscoe brought up this point about the council in Nicaea. You guys are trying to penalize the Bible for man taking the Bible and manipulating it to his advantage, to his gain. You can't do that. You can't penalize a original work of anything, right? Whether it be written, art, or whatever in the hell, and someone uses it to their advantage or changes it and manipulates it so they can have a benefit. That's what you guys are doing to the Bible.
I understand you.
But tell me what the change is.
Yeah.
Show me in the Bible what the change is. That's what I want you to do. How are you going to speak on something you can't prove? Biblically, you slandering the Bible. Look, we said religion is bogus. We're talking about the Bible. The whole point of the Bible. Prove it in the Bible where the reference of white Jesus is. Please just find it. Because if you're going to speak and say it, then why are you doing it? If we talking about the Bible, we said religion is false.
Don't say that.
All right, then let's talk about the Bible. We said religion. We agree with you. We agree with you, brother. That white Jesus, that Caesar Borgia, the Council of Nicaea. Do you know the Bible exposes everything the Catholic Church does and everything that these church buildings do? The Bible exposes them. It exposes Christmas as false. It says in Jeremiah 10, do not put up a tree and decorate it with gold and silver and all this stuff. The Bible exposes it.
All right, but okay, let's talk about the Bible then. The Bible is hypocritical. Right, there you go.
Chapter and verse. Give me a chapter and verse.
I got you. Hold on.
God said, "Thou shalt not murder." Right, it goes on the floods of earth. First of all, God is the giver of life. You can't put yourself in his position. He create life. He's the only one. See, he's the only one that can play God. It's not for us to play him because we're not him. That makes sense. Why would your creation be equal to your creator? Are you equal to your child? No.
And Hawk, don't forget, like I said, they don't read the Bible. The Bible says what? I give life, I take life. Why didn't you quote that? It's God
only God can play God.
Hold on. I got a question. Is Jesus perfect?
Okay, watch this. Hey, Hawk, I'll answer that. Watch this. A rabbi came to Jesus and he would say, "Good master." Jesus told him, he said, "Why are you calling me good?" He says, "There is nobody who's good but the Lord God." So right there it tells you Jesus is not perfect. And watch this. It depends on what you mean by perfect, because if you talk about perfection based on how the world sees it, that's not how the Bible says it. And according to the Bible, right? Watch this. According to the Bible, what made Jesus perfect was the Word of God. By him living the Word of God is how
he was perfect.
Became perfect. Yes.
See, he didn't want. Hold on. He didn't want people to put their faith in the flesh.
Okay.
See, Jesus came. Hold on, Jesus. Okay, go ahead.
Right? If he was perfect, right? Why did he get baptized? The baptizing for the sinners.
He said it. He said, "Thus." Hold on. He said it. He said, "Thus we do this to fulfill all righteousness." He was setting the standard.
So
when he went, hold on, sir. You asked the question. You asked the question. Please let me answer. He was setting an example of what he wanted the people to follow. Jesus is the way. He said, "I am the truth, the way, and the life." He was showing people the way. He did it for an example of what the perfect man would do when he walked the way he walked. Because remember,
he got baptized to show an example.
But Hawk, see, Hawk, this is what I was trying to say.
Says.
People don't read the Bible. Like, okay, remember John the Baptist? He told him. Look, for the brother who asked the question, let me tell you the story, because you don't read the Bible, right? This is what happened. Jesus comes to John the Baptist. He says, "I want to be baptized," and John says, "Wait a minute. Why are you coming to me? I'm supposed to be coming to you to get baptized." He said, "No, I'm not going to do it." Jesus said, "No, you have to do it." Why? We have to set the example. That's the whole bottom line. Why? Because a lot of people, they use the excuse. Why was John angry at the Pharisee? He told him, he said, "All of you have to come here." The whole baptism is what? It's a show of humility to show that all of us are wrong. So Christ had to set the example. Why? Because remember, I just gave you the example. What made Christ perfect was not himself, was by him living the Word of God. That's why he tells you in the Bible, he says, if you were like perfect, like he says, if you do your Father's will, you'll be perfect like him. Like he gave an example. He says, why are you gonna do good on someone who does you good, but you don't do good to someone who does you evil? He says, be like my Father, just like the sun shines on the righteous and the wicked. Be like your Father. Be made perfect. It's not your quote unquote works. It's you doing God's will. So if you do things according to Him, according to the Bible, you are you're living perfection. It's not how the world sees it. That's the difference.
Did God know that his son was going to get murdered since he's all knowing?
He's all knowing.
That was the plan. Remember the plan of
the plan.
Hold on. The plan. Hold on, sir. Let me give you an answer. The plan, the whole idea was the redemption of man. The whole idea of the Bible is that we can be redeemed,
I can't
bro.
hear none of y'all.
Who can't hear?
You can't hear?
Like both of them are talking at the same time. Like,
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I had my bad. I had a video playing in the back.
Yeah, hold on, real quick. Let me read this super chat. Let me get to the user familiar. Thank you again, brother, for the 5. Science has to be demonstrated. You have to show how you're right. Religion can't be demonstrated. Religion can't demonstrate God. That's what he meant. Demonstrate God. It will be just one religion after that.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, to answer that, you got to remember that a lot of science is funded by very corrupt people who actually, we assume that all scientists tell the truth and that their experiments are honest. They're not. Science manipulates a lot. That the whole pharmaceutical industry is just science being manipulated to make money. So let's stop playing like all science is based on people doing honest experiments. It's not. The Tuskegee Airmen, all this stuff, it's all kinds of corruption that science is using to have sinister agendas. But back to what were you asking?
Was it me?
Yeah, Astro. Yeah. You asked a question, Astro.
Oh, my fault. I forgot where I was at. My bad.
Well, it's cool.
You good.
Let me get somebody that's helping y'all out from the chat, man. Shout out to 757 Prime Time for the 2, brother. Appreciate you again, man. Roscoe brings up a good point. If God is the one who takes life, explain the abortion plans. Again, Roscoe, child sacrifice existed in the Bible, bro, and he warned against it. He chastised the people that were giving up their children to Moloch, okay, and other gods that weren't him. So all like fasting and spiritual logic is said, bro, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a different version of the same thing. All abortion is just child sacrifice on a modern level. So it's nothing new. We've seen it before. It's just a modernized version of child sacrifice. Shout out to the users familiar. How can a perfect being have regrets? How can all-powerful being need so much validation from lesser beings? Do you need validations from the insects? Well, again, man, this is our whole thing, brother. I'm trying to, I'm doing my best job to explain God as a lowly human being, but it says that we were created in His image, which means what? Not just His image, but some of the traits he's. If you're created in the image of God, right? That means the stuff that He puts into you has to be some way or some degree of His thing. I told you, it says God has emotions. He has wrath. He has love. He has all these things. So if He can have wrath and love, why would He be excluded from regret?
Y'all shall not be jealous.
Our expectation of hold on.
Wait. Great point. Great point, brother DC. Another great point. Jealousy. So if He has all of these emotions that humans would have, and it tells you clearly, why and could God not have regret?
Well, here's the thing. Jealousy, because we're His. Hold on. We're His. You understand? We're His possession.
The commandments, though. Did He say you can't be jealous?
But He's jealous, though. I'm confused.
Again, no, you don't understand. You're not understanding. Hold on. His spirit. If you go back to Genesis, it says that God breathed His breath into us, and man became a living soul. That air, that soul that you don't believe in, is not yours, sir. God, you can't take possession on something that God created. Your life, dirt doesn't just walk and talk and think and laugh. There's something animating you that didn't evolve from dirt. Yeah, and that's why science can't prove how life came from non-life, because it's a spiritual thing.
But you can't prove a spirit.
Well, again, hold on, you can't disprove it either. That's what I'm telling. This is you guys.
You actually can.
You can't prove a spirit. There's been countless people that have nobody can prove nothing on out of body experiences.
I don't care about their experiences. Just show me proof.
You can't
prove the Bible.
But that is proof.
Your life is proof.
Well, hold on, wait. Just another thing. Hold on, wait, brother. Again, the God particle and all these things that scientists are trying to reach. Listen, man. Cloning and all these other things and that type of shit. Again, and furthermore, like I said, bro, there actually been people that have documented spirits and things like historically. That's what I'm talking about. Of haunted places and stuff like this.
Yeah,
So again,
but let's be real though. Let's be real though. You seen the spirit before, Mr. Fantastic? Come on now.
Say
Let's
again
be
to me
honest.
personally, no, I've never seen one. I'm not
Never seen
gonna
a
lie.
ghost, but you believe in the Holy Ghost.
We gotta be real here.
Well, no, I'm not gonna lie and say I did, but that's what it's plenty of people who say they have. And again, actually, Astro, some of them have been captured on film.
I seen that stuff. I
So
feel
that's
like
what
it'd
I'm
be
saying.
tricks
I
and
mean,
other
it's
stuff,
up
but yeah.
for argument. The question, the validity of it.
I've seen it,
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
and historically, ghosts and all this stuff has been going on for thousands of years. You can't deny thousands of years of people's evidence of that. You can't deny it.
It's lack of knowledge.
It's not lack of knowledge. You can't
Yeah,
deny.
you could deny. It's a lot of stuff.
They used to
centuries
be
and stuff.
You
because
can't.
of God. Like literally.
So
It's a whole
there's
bunch
a
of
lot of scientific phenomena that occur in this universe that scientists to this day can explain. One, for instance, is the law of non-locality, which essentially states that if you affect an electron, right, from a mass, an object, right, and if you separate electrons that come from the same mass, no matter the distance between the two, if you make an observation of the spin of that particular electron, that same observation made, right, as soon as you make the observation, you're going to see the same spin or a direct opposite spin based on that observation. Meaning that if you actually take two electrons, space them out, one here in Georgia, one here in Australia, you can have an experiment where that electron spin is affected every single time. They're affected simultaneously when you do an experiment on one. The other one will be affected. That phenomenon cannot be explained right now. It's from a scientific perspective. There's also a perspective with water. Okay, they've actually discovered that water actually has a memory. Well, you can actually encode information in water. They've done an experiment where they've encoded certain bacteria in water, right? And what they've done is they've gotten to a point where they diluted a sample of water all the way down to where it's 100% pure. What they did was they encoded a frequency using sound waves. Actually, they encoded a frequency into water, right? And then they took that water that they encoded and then they purified it like thousands and thousands of times to a point where that frequency was minute. It was basically like a drop of freaking water, a drop of ink into the ocean, right? And then they took that particular water sample and they analyzed it. They did a spectrum analysis on it. They took that data, transmitted it via email, right? The scientists on the other side of the experiment took that data that they encoded, and they did a reverse transcribe from that data, and they rebuild that molecule. They rebuilt that bacteria all the way. They basically did a genetic comparison, and it was the exact same. They can't explain they can't explain why that works. There are certain scientific phenomenon that to this day scientists cannot explain. So don't give me this shit about everything's figured out through science right now, because there's shit that the scientists can't explain. There's shit that's going on in CERN right now that are breaking the laws of physics. Okay,
to add to what the brother said, science can even prove a conception when conception happened. That's why one of the brother was asking earlier, saying that where do babies come from, right? When the sperm enter the eggs and the conception, science they can't figure out when it happens because it's something. It's what the Bible calls spirit. So when people talk about Jesus being conceived holy, that's what the Bible was referring to. The angel was saying, hey, Joseph, you know that baby you just knocked up inside Mary? The spirit that's being conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. Not to say that the Holy Spirit made Mary pregnant. No, It was talking about conception. That's why when they say immaculate conception, like how they teach it, it's not correct. Every baby, all of us, that's what the Bible was saying. Say, how come every time a man nuts in a woman, she don't get pregnant? Only at a certain time.
I just want to say this. I just want to say this. And you know, I know you guys have had more speaking time than me, but think about the ocean. Science hasn't discovered the ocean. You know, scientists haven't fully discovered the ocean. They said they only discovered what 4 to 5% of it. So there has to be something greater than science that has laid out the foundation of the ocean. If you read Psalms 18 chapter 15 verse, the floor of the ocean was laid bare and the foundations of the earth were uncovered, which proves science can't prove the full extent of the oceans.
Man,
and there's more oceans than earth.
Every time
and again, this can't be argued. You can't argue. You guys, I respect you guys. You get what I'm saying? I respect everyone. Everyone's views I respect because you guys are at least respectful. I respect it, even if our views are contrary. But man, despite having all this technology, cannot prove have not discovered the full extent of the oceans.
Just because science can't explain it doesn't mean it's God.
And they can't. There's been very few trips to Marina Trench in the Pacific. That's only one dot in the ocean. It might be the deepest point of the ocean, but that's one point of the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is over 66 million square miles.
They used to pray for the sun to come back up. They used to pray for it to rain. They all said that was because of God. All right. Now we have the knowledge. We know why it rains. We have the knowledge,
but we don't have the
know why the
technology
sun comes
to
up.
go down in the ocean.
The guy who mentioned about praise,
we don't have it now. We do
He's
not.
speaking about religion, the religious dogma.
But hold on,
gonna have it now.
I just want to say this. People have discovered different dimensions, but they can't fully discover the ocean. Think about it. That's very profound if you think about it. People have discovered
man has never gone to space either. They never went to space either. It's all fake news.
We're done.
I wasn't trying to get into that.
Look at that.
I'm not trying to get into that. The biggest
You can never land on the moon. That's a lie. It's a lie.
Please let me speak. I'm not against you, brother. I just want to say this.
Faster, good for derailing the conversation, boy. I try to tell you, boy.
This.
You a master derailer, Faster.
Please let me speak. Please. I'm not against fasting. I think he has great points. I agree with the brother, but just let me speak. Man hasn't discovered the full ocean. Man has discovered all land, but not the ocean. Think about it. And it even says in the Bible, the foundations of these places won't be fully discovered. So there's proof to it.
How much you want to bet that we'll one day get the technology to do
before the ocean? Think about it. Man will discover space before the ocean. Think about
That's false. That's false.
Nah. No way.
That's
no
false.
way. You tripping, bro.
They're sending stuff to Mars, but they can't discover the
universe
ocean
is too
that's
big
on this
for us
earth.
to discover
You
everything.
can't prove it. They can't.
They don't have the technology now. That does not equal up to God. I don't know why you think that.
The reason why, if it doesn't equal up, what are you comparing, bro?
Crazy stuff.
If it doesn't equal
I
up,
do not know. That's the thing. You claim you're claiming it's because of God. That's what your claim is. The unknown is because of God. That's what you claim.
Can I add? Because I hear
cannot fully discover the ocean because we are not at that level. That's
okay.
What I'm
So
saying.
when we get at that level, then what? Is it still God?
My thing is how you get ocean.
We're not at that level, regardless.
We're not at it now.
We are not.
Hold on. Let me let Astro go, and then we'll count it. And Hulk, I heard you go. You got next. Go ahead, Astro.
I just want to say this. I appreciate you guys for having me on. It was a great discussion. Shout out to Fantastic. Shout out to everyone on the panel. Shout out to my brother Spiritual Logic. But this is the last thing I just have to say before I go. Scientists will create rocket ships to go to the topmost part of the atmosphere, but they can't fully discover the ocean, which speaks volumes. That's all I'm saying. It speaks volumes. It tells me that regardless of the technology man has, man can take DMT and travel different dimensions, but they can't fully discover the dimensions of the ocean. They can't. To this day, they can't. And there's no way we are going to go there.
I ain't gonna
They
lie,
are setting up
okay,
ships
bro.
to Mars,
I'm
but
with
they
you
can't discover the
everything. That's
ocean.
space and
Think
ocean
about
stuff.
it.
Nah.
Keep this in mind. If you can discover things that are outside of this world, but not something that's inside of this world, what does that tell you? Think about it. If you are willing to venture out to go to Mars and the moon or whatnot, that speaks volumes. That means that man is not capable of it. Man is more capable of going to Mars than discovering the entirety of the ocean. Think about it.
Yeah,
That's all
as
I
of
wanna
right
say.
now,
And
as
I'm
of
out.
right now, and it will change.
Hey,
I'm just
the
wondering,
one.
where do you think your ideas and your dreams come from?
Well,
What do you think? What
Where's
do you
that
think?
for?
Well, no, hold up. Let me let Astro go. Then we'll come back to you, bro. Too. Astro, what you
go
think?
ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, so the only thing I got left is like people believe in the Bible. You got some people that believe in the Quran. You got some people that believe in Buddhism. It's like everybody got their faith in certain things, but who's right? So it's like
I can
the only
touch
way we
that.
gonna know is unless we all die. Then mad people gonna be surprised. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know.
I agree.
Wait, I can touch that if you want. I can give you something to think about. Now,
Because they
here's the
all got
thing.
history in the past, future,
Yeah,
all this other stuff. So
yeah, I feel you. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, people are going to make their own choices. But here's the thing. Every religion except for the Bible attributes man finding his own salvation, whether it's through him working and doing something, or it just like the karmic religions like Buddhism. It's like you just short. Whatever you are in this life, you just are, and that's just too bad. And but here's the thing. The thing about the Bible that's unique from all other religions is that it's more relatable to what we all experience. We all see our shortcomings, our wickedness, the consequences from our bad decision making. We all realize that we've told lies. And to some degree, we've stolen something that wasn't really ours, whether it's small or big. We live our lives in idolatry or some kind of way that we diminish the life of other people. We do things that are just wrong, and wrong by the standard that we wouldn't want done to us. So we do have a problem. We know that something is wrong with us, and we all have that, because if you told a lie, even if nobody knew it but you, for the most part, most people would just feel bad about it. Even if you think you not feeling bad about it, you kind of feel bad about it.
good
And
point.
it's like, the Bible is different in a way that man is can't solve his problem. And it's a problem that God had to solve for man. Like the whole idea of redemption biblically is that God stands in our place, that somebody had to be punished for the sins and the wickedness that we all do. Somebody had to satisfy divine judgment. You wouldn't say God is perfect and just, or you wouldn't say a judge, let's talk an earthly judge, is perfect and just. If somebody killed your whole family, but because they fed homeless people and did other things, we're going to let them go. You can't balance the scales in real life. Somebody has to pay. If you did something, you have to be punished for what you've done. And basically, God is standing in our place saying, look, for your free will, for your disobedience, I still care about you enough that I can redeem you if you just trust and believe in what I'm doing, because I care about you. It's like we don't think about it, but when you die, you're gonna be going through your mind all the things that you did in life. That's gonna happen.
No.
You're gonna be thinking about your life and just what I did with my life. And why does that matter if you're gonna turn into nothing? Because you have a spirit that knows that it's gonna come to some kind of accountability. You know that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even care about what you do in this life. It would be no point. If everybody comes to the same conclusion of nothing, then it doesn't matter whether you're a bank robber or a freaking nice person. None of that would matter. Because in the end,
Hey,
everybody's gonna
Hawk.
turn to nothing.
Hey, this is one proof
So
I know
I
that
just want
people
to.
who say they don't believe in God, it's all bullshit. Show me one atheist who never say, "Oh my God." Show me one atheist, and I'll be okay. I understand that he's a real atheist. Show me one
This
atheist
guy.
who's never said, "Oh my God."
Shit.
Hey,
Even
man,
during
people
But
sex,
say,
bro. People
hey,
say
right?
nigga
nigga.
during
Yeah.
sex.
Oh yeah,
Look,
exactly.
people say nigga, but they're white. Yeah,
So
there's
I
white people
tend
say
to
nigga, they
try
ain't
to
black.
focus on like from
Something you don't believe in.
scientific
The
perspective,
Bible
bro.
says,
So
out of the abundance of the heart, the
You can
mouth
say anything,
speaks. I
man.
won't speak on something it doesn't stay in my head. Because saying, "Oh my God," it's what? It's instinct, right? It's an
It's
instinct.
a
When something
phrase.
happens, some people say, "Oh shit," right? But watch this. Every atheist I've said, "Oh my God," yes or no? Exactly. There you go.
He
Case
Well, I
solved
will
it,
closed.
say
guys.
this.
You got
I
it.
will
He
say this.
solved it.
Faston said something interesting. I will say this. You never hear nobody blaspheme another deity or another religious figure from a different religion. It's always Jesus. It's always a reference to the Bible when we do evil, and I think that is a reflex. Because nobody say, "Oh Muhammad," or "Oh somebody else," "Oh Buddha," or "Oh somebody else." It's
Yeah,
always Jesus
Muslims
Christ.
don't even say Muhammad. They barely even say Allah. And then when they say
And
Allah, it's in the context of saying, "Oh my God," in
and, and
Arabic.
and as far as the flat Earth theory, look, there's a lot of things that are shady, and I think that's a conversation for a whole nother day to even open that bag of worms right
Yeah,
now.
please don't.
I don't think we're gonna do that, but
Yeah, man. I'm not.
So,
Hey, when
I
we
just
get to that one, y'all got it. Because I'm not even on that one, bro. I'm not even.
yeah, me neither,
Hey,
man.
hey,
I'm
hey,
not
Hawk.
on that
I
Hey,
can't.
Hawk,
spaceship,
you
I
should
man.
can't
have
get
a
with
show on
y'all.
the channel. You should
So,
have a
hey,
show on the channel, Hawk, about that. Then we
I
can
ain't
go
gonna
in
lie.
on
This
it.
is a
well,
good debate.
So
It's
I
a
will
good
let
debate.
y'all have the flat Earth day if y'all want to do it over here, man. We'll have
Hell
it. Hey,
no.
but
Yeah,
here's the
Hey,
thing.
fantastic. Do it. Do it.
so
Please
so
do it.
Here's the thing.
Please.
I just want to chime in on this, right? So from a scientific perspective, there was an experiment done to prove the existence of the soul. This occurred in the early 1900s. It was conducted by a doctor. His name escapes me right now. McDougall or some shit like that. Anyway, what he did in order to prove or to try to disprove that humans had a soul is he basically created these big ass scale gurneys, right? And he recruited 6 dying patients that were dying from I think like 5 of them or 4 of them were dying from tuberculosis, and 2 of them were dying from diabetes. So what he did is at the time of death, they put everything, all the entire body were on these scales, on these scale gurneys that he created. And at the time of death, it was consistent. Each one of these people lost about an ounce. It was consistently across the board. At the time of death, there was an instant. So basically, they had a scale. They had a pan on the other side. At the time of death, that pan failed suddenly. It was astonishing. And they did the same experiment with 15 dogs. Nothing was observed. There was no weight loss. Okay, look this up. This is the experiment that was done. Now, granted, the sample size is small. There has not been a recreation of this experiment due to ethics. However, there is proof that this experiment was done. There is proof that this experiment produced these results. Now, can you dispute that? Can you dispute that every time someone died in this experiment, there was about an ounce loss? Where did that ounce come from? It was not human waste. It was not them releasing their bowels, because the gurney itself was designed to keep everything on it. So you can't dismiss it by some gases or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? This occurred across the board every time someone died. So there's something that was lost.
Yeah, it's the consciousness, because if you think about a true atheist is 100% materialist, and that doesn't account for immaterial things like logic, justice, morality, and consciousness in general. And see, we got to realize that if everything is just a chemical, if you're nothing but a bag of chemicals moving together, reacting, then everything's predetermined. You can't even think if you're just chemicals. You're just reacting. And see, we take for granted what we are because we're so unique. There's nothing like us. There's nothing like us. We're so unique, and we take it for granted, and we just assume that we're diminishing out what we are.
Let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: do you believe like your soul is like your personality?
Well, here's the thing: it's more than your personality. It's everything about you. It's just everything. Your personality is one facet of who you are. There's an intrinsic moral thing. Like everybody complains. Everybody has expectations. All these things that we just think are reflexes are just a result of consciousness, a result of us having an inner working of a law.
Hey, Hawk, let me help you with that. He asked a great question. Look at the word he used. Personality comes from the word person. A person is what? It's a mask. It's not you. It's from the outside, meaning you build on a persona, or what the word persona, basically it's a character, right? Like I'm a man, that's a fact, right? But I'll build on a character that attributes to what I am, but my attributes is not me. There's more to me than just my attribute. So quote unquote personality, the soul is grand. You can't just squeeze a soul into a personality, because persona is a character. Like when you're in a business environment, you have to take on a business persona, and when you're amongst niggas, you have to take on a niggas personality. You see what I'm saying?
All right, but since there's more than a soul than a personality, then what I already asked this before. What are you before you're born?
Again, you're a spirit, bro. You're a spirit. Again, you're a spirit. He tells you, the God tells you, it's a scripture that tells you, I knew you were before you were made in the womb, man. He couldn't tell you quit. But hey, man, I can't let this thing go 5 hours, man. We over 2.5 at this point.
Yeah, it was good. I respect
marathon, man. I got an announcement now. Hey. I got an announcement. Since we did it, I got a huge announcement for Tuesday. Nigga, hey. It's Flat Earth Tuesday on
Hey, look, Tommy even did it. Tommy even did the Flat Earth thing. After he did his research, he really made some good points on it. Let me put it this way. It's a hard concept to look at, because if you're real about stuff, you know that NASA is only CGI and artist illustrations. You're not and if you look up Sophia, it's a high stratospheric telescope that takes all these images that we think is coming from wherever. Just look it up. It's Sophia is the anagram of it.
Bro,
and it's
NASA's not the only space agency on the planet.
I know that, but see, when you trust in the government, then you're assuming that
all of them are lying.
Hold on.
Hey, hold. Let's save it. Let's save it for Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, man, you got a whole show for it, man.
I already got Hope locked down fasting. You wanna co-pilot this too, man? You and Hope.
Oh yeah, definitely. What time though? Man, it depends. Hopefully I'm not sleeping.
I done at least fasting on y'all niggas now, bro. So y'all know what time it is.
Hey, let me just say this. Let me just say this. I'm a very scientific guy, and I will go through the science of everything. Like I could tell you on a sphere that the Earth is supposed to curve an inch every 7.98 miles. I've done the math, and I can tell you a lot of the specific details that if you believe that the Earth is what the government is telling you, that you should have to prove it by the math and the things that people actually can test.
Okay.
So one thing I think every brother got to do, you know, when diving into areas like this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man.
Look at the opposite. You know, look at the opposing argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
he said save it for next time.
Hey, niggas. All right, save it for Tuesday. I knew that turned into motherfucking Donald Washington today, man. Shout out to New, man. That thing gave you like $100 and $5 things. I appreciate you. There's no point you being scared to die. Makes you believe. Fast and stop acting stupid. Oh my God, is a catchphrase.
hey, New, I'm waiting for your marriage. New, I'm waiting for you to get married.
Hey, New, they're all scared to die.
Man cave vlogging, bro. Everybody's scared to die, no matter what you believe in, for the most part, bro.
Yeah, I got it.
Vlogging channel for especially you niggas that don't believe in nothing after the fact.
I'm not scared to die. I know.
Okay, it sounds good. Hey, I promise you this one, nigga. I'm motherfucking walk up to you and put that pistol to your
face. Hey, man, that's my fate.
You're gonna be like, take me now, nigga. You're gonna be like, go ahead. Stop lying.
No, I'm dead serious.
You capping.
No, Mr. Fantastic. No, Mr. Fantastic.
Listen, hold on. I got you capping, bro. Because if that was the case, brother, and I'm not saying to encourage this, I'm not saying that this and the other, bro. You just walk off a fucking bridge and kill yourself, man. You didn't care about your life. You would have took your own life a long time ago. So the fact of the matter that you're here,
I care about my life. I'm not scared to die. That's the thing.
motherfucker.
They're one in the same. They're one in the same, bro.
If you was in Walmart and somebody started shooting, you just gonna be like,
Y'all
oh, I guess it's time for me to die.
Y'all fear death.
Taking care of your life. Taking care of
yeah, for real. Come on, man.
taking care of your life.
He can't.
Yeah, man. Super cap, dog. Hey, man, talk about sombrero. There, you got a whole sombrero on.
And sombrero cap, nigga, with the guacamole around the rim.
All right,
man.
man.
Yeah,
man. Get out of here.
But shout out to Man Cave Vlogging Channel for too. Thanks for having me on a great panel. It was a great panel, man. Great participation,
respect
man.
to all y'all, man.
I hope,
Respect to all
hey,
y'all.
man, shout out to my man
same here,
Astro, man. My Astro came up here and saved the day because DC and everyday
Tried, man.
Just saying. Shout out to Psycho in the hoping next time Psycho you come on, bro. If you feel like it. Roscoe too. I know Roscoe don't do panels a whole lot, but Roscoe too, man.
Hey, respect to all y'all brothers. Whether y'all believe in God or not, we can still have the discussion.
Exactly,
and we can
man.
still enjoy it.
Hey, Mr. Fantastic.
Appreciate
Mr. Fantastic. I was wondering where Zero went. Zero should have been here.
Oh,
to
Zero.
serve the other brother. Yeah, I'm like, where's Zero?
Oh, Zero.
Zero hate.
Yeah, Zero and Judge. I was
yeah, where are they? What happened? You know what? They got scared.
Yeah,
because the Bible.
Don't do that now.
Here you go. Here you go.
Oh yeah, they're scared. Little chicken.
Hey, well, I'm telling you this, man. Hey, y'all niggas better be here for 10-4 Tuesday, Flat Earth edition on motherfucking Tuesday, bro. That shit's gonna be a barn burner, baby. It's gonna be a slobber knocker. All right.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Hey, appreciate you having me on, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, man, appreciate you, bro. Greatly appreciate Hope for taking that time out of his day, man, to come through and give us the knowledge, man. There's a lot of
y'all have a great day, man. I'm out.
Yeah,
it was fun.
All right, peace.
And and all those great things, brother. Like I said, make sure you guys, I pinned him to the chat. Make sure you guys subscribe to Hope if you're not already subscribed. Please subscribe to the brother. We got 120 in the building. Let me see what he's looking like on these subs, man. 1.1K, 1.11K. So let's see if we can get him up to 200, man. 1.2.
Yeah.
All right,
hey, man, I appreciate everything, all the subs, because look, man, I know I touched the hard subjects, the touchy stuff, man. Even talk about a lot of things going on in the world, so look, somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it.
Man, and make sure y'all sub to him on motherfucking IG, bro. Make sure y'all sub to Hope.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of evidence on there.
Yeah, not just the religion, bro. Like you said, and that's why I know. Like I said, this y'all think this fucking flat earth shit gonna be easy. Not with Hope. Yeah, I'm telling you this. Hope and fasting on the same team, nigga. Hey, I'm just saying, y'all gonna have your work.
And Mr. Fantastic, just to show you that the system that quote unquote promotes science, they're against information. Why? When you use their own science, like right on my YouTube channel, I'll use scientific evidence to basically support my argument. YouTube will flag it. But if I use an argument that supports what they're promoting, they don't flag it. So right there's already bias. From governmental perspective, that's why one of my favorite quotes is, facts are opinion agreed upon. If people don't agree with it, they won't believe it's a fact.
All right, man. So there we go, man. We had a long, very good conversation today, man. Thank you, everybody that came up today. Chat participants, you guys for all the donations, for your time and all that great stuff, man. Like I said, bro. Oh, don't forget tonight. Me and MOT have the political discussion concerning the contract with Black America over at the Prophet of Thought series, 9:30 p.m. Be there. Make sure you guys come through and support, man. It's going to be a great conversation that we're going to have, and we know how I do, man. Two heavy hitters in the space, man, and I hope to see you guys there. So all in all, man, that's that on that, and I catch y'all on the next.